Once again, my friends, my name is Robert Antoinin, and you are still connected to the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. And today's theme is Welcome to the Bigger, Bolder Me. And each one of our speakers and presenters today are going to show you how to build up, how to blow up, and brand up in the marketplace. Now, I don't know much about branding, but I do know this for sure. People confuse advertising and branding all the time. Now, advertising is what you say about you. Branding is about what others say about you. Now, let me rewind the tape so you can play it back again. Advertising is about what you say about you. Branding is about what other people say about you. Now, I know each one of our speakers and presenters are going to delve deeper into that subject matter so that you get it deep down in your sha-na-na. But here's one other thing that I'll share for free. If people like you, they'll at least listen. But if they trust you, they'll do business with you. Now, somebody hashtag that thing out, put it in the feed for everybody to know and learn. If people like you, they'll listen. But if they trust you, if they trust your brand, they will do business with you. And that's what today is all about, helping you to leverage your brand in the marketplace so that you are able to hashtag secure the bag. Now, some of the speakers coming up for you today are one of my favorite people, Obiama Martin. So tune in and check her out. In addition, we have a special treat. We have an all-male panel discussion. And the topic is how we support our queens. Hashtag Black Girl Magic, hashtag support Black business. Now, I want you to take notes and I want you to share this out and tell a friend about the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. My name is Robert Antoinin, and you can find me on all social media platforms. On Instagram, I am Robert Antoinin. On Facebook, I am Robert Antoinin. On LinkedIn, I am Robert Antoinin. Everywhere you look on social media, I am Robert Antoinin. But more than telling you about me, I want to tell you about my super friend, Alicia Brooks. She is the founder and the creator of the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. Hear ye her and be blessed. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Hey everyone! So my name is Shivy Williams. I am the owner of LBX Fitness, and I am excited to be bringing Yoga Nidra to you. So for this Yoga Nidra session, everyone is going to be sitting down, and Yoga Nidra, or what's also called yogic sleep, is, as it is commonly known, is an immensely powerful meditation technique and one of the easiest yoga practices that one person or that a group of people can do. Now, there are 5 great benefits to Yoga Nidra. 1, anyone can do Yoga Nidra, and it can also be done anywhere. You cannot practice Yoga Nidra incorrectly, so don't worry about messing it up. It is also very easy to incorporate into your daily life. It is a very easy and simple way to reduce stress, and it is a great opportunity for you to learn about yourself. Now, before we begin our Yoga Nidra session, please make sure that you are sitting someplace very comfortably. Now, if you would like, you can also lay down to do Yoga Nidra. I will be reading from a script, so please just follow along as I go through our Yoga Nidra session. Get ready for the practice of Yoga Nidra. You can sit or lie down on your back. Let your body sink into the floor. Get comfortable. Make any adjustments if you wish at this point. Take your feet wider than your hips. Allow your feet to flop to the side if you're laying down. Your palms can be a little ways away from the body if you're lying, or your palms can be facing the ceiling and the back of your hands on your thighs. Make sure you are warm enough and take a position that will be comfortable for the entire duration of our practice. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your hips, your back, your knees, and your ankle. Now I want you to lift your head up and down a few times to release any tension or any tight spots from the back of your neck. Now allow your eyes to close and to keep them closed for the entire duration of Yoga Nidra. If you feel any tension or tight spots in any part of your body, take awareness to that part of your body and consciously relax the body part. Now, during Yoga Nidra, you may have some past experiences that will arise. If these experiences bring up any type of trauma, please feel free to come out of the Yoga Nidra session. It is best that you remain still during the practice of Yoga Nidra. However, if you become uncomfortable, please feel free to make changes with very minimal movement. It is natural to flow in and out of conscious hearing during this practice. Understand that whatever your experience is today is the experience that you are supposed to have. There is no wrong way to do Yoga Nidra. Know that you are in a safe environment and protected space. Stay awake by listening to the sound of my voice. If your mind starts to wander, which is very natural, just come back to the sound of my voice. Now say to yourself, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am awake, and I will remain awake till the end of the practice. And you will come out of the practice when I ask you to do so. The practice of Yoga Nidra begins now. We will start with sound awareness, keeping your eyes closed. Become aware of any sounds you can hear in this moment. Nothing else but what you can hear without straining your ears. Start by focusing on the most distant sounds. Move your attention from sound to sound without labeling the source. Now move your awareness to sounds within this room, to the sound of your breath, the sound of your breath flowing freely between your nostrils. Now visualize yourself within this room. Visualize the four walls in the room without opening your eyes. The ceiling, the floor, the walls. Visualize your position in your room. Your body lying or sitting, the parts of your body touching the floor or mat or your chair. Your clothes, your hair, your face. Your entire body sitting or lying down. Become aware of your natural breath. Become aware of your natural and spontaneous breath that moves in and out of your body without any effort. The natural breath flows in through both nostrils. Notice the feeling of the breath as it comes in and out of your nostrils. We will now begin a systematic journey of awareness throughout the body. You will move your awareness to different parts of your body as soon as you hear them named. We will begin with the right side. Right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. Palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, the shoulder, right side of the chest, right waist, right hip, right thigh, the right knee, the right calf, your right ankle, top of the right foot, your right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Moving to the left side of the body, left hand thumb, the second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, the wrist, the forearm, elbow, upper arm, the shoulder, the left side of the chest, the waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf, your ankle, the heel, sole of your left foot, top of the left foot, the left big toe, the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Now go to the back of the body. The soles of the feet, right and left heels, right and left calves, the back of your knees, the back of your thighs, the lower back, middle back, and upper back, the entire spine, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, and the back of the head, top of your head, forehead, the right temple and the left temple, the right ear and the left ear, the right eyebrow and the left eyebrow, the space between your eyebrows, right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, right cheek, left cheek, the upper lip, the lower lip, your entire mouth, your chin, jaw, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, the chest, upper abdomen, the navel, the lower abdomen, the whole torso, the whole body, the whole body. Slowly become aware of your breath. Feel the flow of your natural breath in and out of your nostrils. The breathing is normal and spontaneous without any effort. Maintain awareness of your breath and continue to breathe through the belly with every inhale the abdomen is expanding. And with every exhale, the navel is drawn in toward the spine. As you continue to breathe through the abdomen, begin to count your breaths, starting from 9 to 1. Start counting your breath backwards from 9 to 1. Breathe in through the nose for 1. Breathe out through the nose for 2. Breathe in through the nose for 3. Breathe out through the nose for 4. And continue to count to 9. Now, if you lose track of the count midway, then you can begin again at 9 or at 1. So you can count backwards from 9 to 1 or count up from 1 to 9. Gradually come back to the feeling of your breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Maintaining your awareness of breath, become aware of your physical body. Your body is relaxed and sitting or lying on the floor. Feel the different parts of your body lying on the floor or sitting on your chair. And take your awareness into all the points that are touching the floor or your chair. The back of your heels or the soles of your feet, your thighs, your back, your shoulder blades, your arms, your hands, and your head. Now, shift your attention to the sounds within the room you're in. The sound of your breath, sounds around your chair or where you're laying, the sound of my voice. Now move your attention to sounds outside of your room. Sounds you can hear without straining. Move your awareness back to your room. Visualize your room. Imagine where you are in the room and the other objects that are around you. Lying down or sitting quietly until you feel ready to move. Start by slowly moving your hands and feet. Take your time. There is no hurry. When you are sure that you are fully awake, if you are lying down, bend your knees and roll over to the right side of your body or the left side of your body. And spend a few moments here. If you are sitting and or lying, Revisit today's Yoga Nidra practice, feeling safe, secure, calm, and peaceful. If you are lying down, use your right or your left hand to press yourself up from the floor and slowly sit up in any comfortable posture. Sit in stillness for a couple of moments, everyone. Take a deep breath in through the nose, allowing the belly to expand, and exhale out completely, pulling the abs in towards the spine. Bring your palms to your heart center and rub your palms together. Transfer the warmth of your palms to your eyes. Rub your palms one more time, generating heat. Place your palms on any part of the body that may need comfort or healing. Bring your palms in front of your eyes. Open your eyes and look into your palms, blinking your eyes. Place your hands down next to you or on top of your thighs. Before we end the practice for Yoga Nidra, I would like for you to just sit. I would like for you to think of things that you're grateful and thankful for. I always like to end out all of my sessions with a grateful or thankful list. You can also love on yourself at this time. This time is for you to tell yourself how much you love yourself, or the things that you are proud of when it comes to the things that you've accomplished. We say these things to other people, but rarely do we say them to ourselves. Take just a few seconds to reflect on those things. What are you grateful and thankful for? What do you love about yourself? We're going to take 3 breaths together, and then that will end our Yoga Nidra session. Breathe in through the nose, and now breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, staying relaxed. Now fully breathe out through the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose. Now slowly breathe out through the mouth. And now I hope that you are fully relaxed and you are ready for today's conference sessions. Everyone have a great conference, and thank you for joining me for today's Yoga Nidra session. Bye, everybody.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim Ford. I'm so excited that you're here at the Bigger, Bolder You conference. I'm sure you've been able to intake so much wonderful information. I'm honored to share my story with you today. Today we're going to be talking about why it's never too late. So I'm going to get right into it. Okay. It's never too late. So everything I'm going to share today will be based upon my book that's currently on Amazon called It's Never Too Late, The Ultimate Guide to Make an Epic Comeback After a Setback. Now, I started out my career as a content creator where I created my own site. So many people have possibly seen me on CNN or possibly seen several of the celebrity interviews that I've done. But how exactly did I get here? I didn't just pop up there or pop up with access to be able to speak to these people, but I want to talk about how did I get here? I've been able to interview Tyler Perry, Will Smith, Colin Kaepernick, and even spoken at the Georgia Capitol. But again, I want to ask you, how did I get here? Back then, it was a lot of glitz and glam, but right now it's a lot of glitz and glam, I'm sorry. But in 2010, I was going through a divorce, life was happening, and I was a single mom, and my kids were ages 3 and 13 at the time. And so as you can imagine, I could either think about, as I was going through the divorce, it was a hard time. I was crying every day. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? It was such a grief. But I had to get to a point to where I said, okay, either I'm going to sit here and cry again another day, or I'm going to get up and move on and pursue my dream. It's never too late for our dreams. That's what I want you to know today. Whatever setback that you are encountering, whether it was a divorce, a breakup, a financial loss, 2020, whatever your loss is, I'm here to let you know that it's never too late. Now, what I'm going to do is cover 3 main areas many people give up on, which is their dreams, love, and sometimes it's hard to move on from their path. So let's start with your dreams. It's never too late for your dreams. Now, some of your dreams may be to graduate from college, to go back to school. Maybe it's to get in shape or even to become an entrepreneur. I'm here to let you know, if you are listening to my voice and watching this right now, it is 100% possible for your dreams to still happen. The first thing you have to do is remember your dreams. Sometimes we get busy with the hustle and bustle of our day. Our dreams kind of get pushed back to the forefront. Maybe you manage a household that has completely taken over your life, and your dreams or anything you desire is nowhere in sight. Maybe there's been some type of financial loss, or you just kind of lost your footing, but you don't even think about what used to set you on fire. I'm here to let you know it's never too late. When you've been called by God to do something, you'll have absolutely no peace until you can do it. I'm sure we've all had that feeling. Right now, I sit here before you, even though I've done those things in media, my undergraduate degree is in psychology. I'm a career changer. I just figured it out one day. I knew that I wanted to see more positive media. This was back in 2007, before social media, before Facebook or Squarespace or WordPress, before anything that makes it easy to have a website. I said, you know what? I want to see more positive media. And if that means I need to create it, I will. First event that I requested credentials to cover was the 2007 BET Hip Hop Awards. They didn't know I was brand new, but I just had the confidence. I said, I'm going to put my site up. I created my own site because back in 2007, paying a web designer thousands of dollars to create something you were trying out just wasn't an option. So I just figured it out myself, put my site up, created some content. I covered some events that I knew was going on in the city. And lo and behold, BET gave me access. I showed up with my point and shoot camera, and many of the major outlets had these huge, big old cameras. I showed up with what I had and did the exact same job. Again, I had to remember my dream. I had no peace until I was able to do it. So let's talk about, okay, Kim, how do I get to this dream? The first thing you want to do is research. You have to research to find out what it is you wanted to do. whether it's going back to school, whether it's becoming a career changer, whatever that dream is, whether it's losing weight or gaining weight, do the research. Get on Google, get on YouTube, ask people that are really great in their field. And I would definitely suggest before you reach out to anyone and say, hey, can you mentor me? Can you do this? Do as much research as possible so that when you approach them, they already see that you have some skin in the game. You're not just going to them wanting them to just spoon feed you everything from A to Z and say, I'm here, show me how to do exactly what you do. Because it doesn't work that way. Okay, we have to do the research. We want to find out how much things cost. If you want to open up a restaurant, we have to count the costs. If we want to start a clothing line, become a master chef, we have to count the cost to find out what exactly does it take to make this happen. After this, we have to plan. We have to plan out our lives. We have to schedule time. If you already have a busy 9-to-5 job or a busy entrepreneurial venture that you have right now, you have to plan out the time. Okay, this is from this time to this time is when I'm going to plan out when I am going to find out what it takes to make this dream work. And in planning, sometimes, most times, that means you have to plan out the people you will eliminate from your life so that you can focus. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Yes, we have to plan out who we are going to remove because they may not be the best fit for where you want to go in your life. And then the third thing we have to do is execute. We have to actually do the work that we research. We actually have to do all the things that we took notes from and took notes on that's sitting in our iPhone. The notes are just sitting there. It's great to do the research. It's great to plan, but the work is the work. Showing up is the work. So sometimes I know people get caught up. They say, oh yeah, I'm already doing it. You've done the Google search, you've asked the questions, you've planned it out, but you really haven't showed up to do what you researched to do. So we want to research, we want to plan, and we actually want to execute it. Now, when I say it's never too late for your dreams, I want to take it a little bit deeper because at the heart of what I'm saying is that it's never too late for your purpose. Now, when I say it's never too late for your dreams, I'm not saying if you're 40-something years old and you're trying to go out for the NFL team. That ain't it. I'm not saying if you are, 60-something years old and you're trying to rehash some things that time has really expired. There's something else, possibly even bigger for you to do. And the best thing to do is to first locate your purpose, which is what you're divinely called to do. All right, Kim, how do I find my purpose? Glad you asked. So when you look for your purpose, you want to merge your skills, your talents, and your gifts authentically. It's all gonna roll together. It's gonna impact others and the world positively. Now I'm gonna give you an example of myself. My dream was always to be in media. I've always wanted to be on television, be on the red carpets, and do exactly what I'm doing now. Interview Tyler, interview Oprah, and have this wonderful glam life on the red carpet. That's a dream. But my purpose is to help someone else through their pain. That's purpose. That's what sets me on fire. That's how I know God's hand is on me. Because when I was going through that divorce, crying and hurt and broken, I said, God, if you get me through this, I promise you, I will help someone else to overcome their setback as well. And he's definitely allowed me to do the same thing. Everything is about purpose. And it's important for you to know, as you're locating your purpose, it may not be your job. It may not be your career. Those two things could be totally separate. They may kind of crisscross a little here and there, or they may not. I just want everyone to be clear that, your dream and your purpose could be two separate things. They could work hand in hand. It just depends on what your thing is. But most importantly, It's never too late for your purpose. A dream of being a rock star at a very late age, that dream, maybe you want to pursue something on the executive side. I'm just giving examples here. But your purpose, it's important for you to locate that because that's going to go hand in hand with your dreams. The next part I want to go to is it's never too late for love. Now, I put in one of my favorite couples, Ciara and Russell Wilson, because, people are always saying, Ciara, sis, what's the prayer? What's the prayer? We always want to know what's the prayer. And if you know anything about Ciara's story, she went through several relationships before she was met with the one God really had for her. And I'm bringing up love because you're probably saying, Kim, how are you going to switch from purpose to love? I'm here to tell you they go hand in hand. Because a lot of times who you choose to love can make or break your dreams. You want someone supportive, right? We all want someone supportive. We want someone to be our biggest cheerleader. You want someone to say, hey, that's okay. You didn't get it this time. You'll get them next time. But if you choose someone who doesn't have that in them, it's definitely going to delay or possibly destroy your dreams. Now, let's first, before we go into, wanting love, let's make sure we really know what love is. Love is a series of choices to be patient, kind, unselfish, and enduring. I'm going to say that again, and you may want to screenshot this. It's a series of choices to be patient, kind, unselfish, and enduring. And we all know within relationships, it's going to be plenty of opportunities to actually see if you are these things before you expecting someone else to be these things for you. This is what love is. And unfortunately, sometimes people think love is, oh, he bought me this. That's not love. That's showing something when someone who does love you, some things that they may do. But just because someone buys you nice things doesn't necessarily mean that they love you. It means they could afford it. Right? Let's dig a little deeper. The main thing I want to talk about today is what toxic relationships look like. Again, I'm going into relationships and what toxic relationships is because sometimes people were not raised around, healthy relationships. Even though my parents divorced, they still showed me so much love and still do. So much love, and my confidence was through the roof. I went to HBCU, and when you go there, they could tell you, you learn so much about your history and your culture. You're going to go out and just take on the world and do everything. But when you get with the wrong person, it can derail everything you've ever taught. I've always been told and I've always read that bad manners corrupt moral character. And we want to make sure we really understand what a toxic relationship is. One of the first things is there's humiliation. They don't fight fair. Maybe you shared something, a moment, something vulnerable about yourself, maybe an insecurity of yours that you have. But when an argument comes up, that's what they use to so-called win the argument. That's toxic. And it's not okay. Maybe you're choosing to move on from a hurt from your parents, hurt from your children. Maybe you want to move on from that business that didn't work out. Instead of saying, okay, we're gonna, you have my support to continue. We'll figure this out. They're on the phone talking to their friends about what didn't work out for you. That's not okay. That's humiliating. The second one is guilt. Guilt is their weapon. Oh, I told you it wasn't going to work. You shouldn't have started that in the first place. I know exactly what that feels like. When I was starting my media company, all I would hear from the person I was married to at the time is, who's gonna care about that? You going out again? Why you gotta wear that? It's a red carpet. It's not that I was even dressed scantily or anything like that. It was always something why I just need to just stay home and just cook and clean. That's all I really needed to do. His eye, right? But when you are ambitious and you want it, you can't be bottled in. You can't shrink for anybody. So guilt is their weapon to diminish you. And the third one is financial abuse. Now, financial abuse, many have not heard about, but financial abuse is very real. You'll see about financial abuse, a lot of domestic abusive situations, meaning they don't give you access to any of the funds, or they only give you just enough because for whatever reason, maybe you decide you both have joint bank accounts, and they just pretty much dominate and rule everything in the financial situation of the relationship. Or maybe you are the main breadwinner and they just run through your cards and can care less if it causes harm to your credit history or not. It's very prevalent. You can do your research and Google it. I talk about all three of these and several more in my book, but it's very important for you to recognize that love shouldn't hurt. As you are on your pursuit to your dreams, to whatever it is, it's never too late for you, that thing that's beating in your heart. It's important to immediately remove all toxic relationships. I want to move on to, it's never too late to heal from your past. Whatever your past looks like, that's just your past. We have to move on to the bigger picture of what our purpose is. Here's how you do it. The first thing you want to do is let it go. I know you may be saying, Kim, okay, yeah, right. That's easier for you to say, but it's hard to do it. But I'm here to tell you, in some shape, form, or fashion, we have to let it go. And it's important for you to not try to let it go alone, right? That's why we may have to seek the counsel of a professional, a therapist, someone to talk your hurts through. Because sometimes when you don't properly heal from your hurt, in some shape or form, it's going to show up in your business. It's going to show up in your customer service. It's going to show up in your later relationships. So it's important to heal properly, and we have to let it go. Will it be hard and will it hurt? Yes. I'm here to tell you, it's not fun, but I'm here to tell you it's nothing like the peace you had when that sting in your heart is no longer there, and it's possible. The next thing you want to do is focus on your goals. As I was going through my divorce, like I said earlier, I can either continue crying every single day, rolling over in my head what he did, what he said, who he did it with, how could he do that? Or I can say, you know what? I'm going to focus on what it is I said I wanted to do for me, for Kim. I can guarantee you when you focus on your goals, you'll have a lot of less time focusing on what didn't work. Now, I just want to show you 3 people who said it's never too late in their lives, and they're doing pretty well right now. The first one is Ava DuVernay. If you're not familiar with Ava, I suggest you immediately go to Netflix after this conference is over and watch 13th. She's the producer of that documentary of 13th on Netflix. She's done work with Oprah and so many wonderful things for the African American culture and beyond. She didn't pick up her first, she started out as a publicist, but she didn't get into producing film until her mid-30s. So I'm here to tell you, so what, you're in your 30s and your 40s or your 50s and you're starting this new career. So what? What's for you is for you. And God knows how to restore you just as if nothing bad even happened. I'm saying go ahead and go for it. The next person is Steve Jobs. He was adopted. He could have said, oh, well, forget it. Nobody, my own parents didn't even want me. Who else would want me? And now he's, we all know him for the phone you're probably holding in your hand right now. And we all know the amazing Mr. Tyler Perry. We know what horrible childhood he came from, what he overcame, and we all are very clear on the billionaire status that he has. All 3 of them made a decision. That's what it is, a decision that is never too late. Now, my last question for you is, who told you that it was too late? If you're thinking, oh, I can never have a body like that. Oh, I can never have a career like that. Oh, I can never have a marriage, a family, or whatever that thing is that you're purposed to have. Who told you? Was it someone from a toxic relationship? And like I said earlier, you may have to go to speak with someone, a mental health therapist, to kind of talk that through, to get those voices out your head, or to learn the tools on how to attack those. We have to speak what it is that we want. Who told you that it was too late? And if it wasn't a person, is it your own low confidence? Is it your own self-doubt? We have to get to the root of where this is coming from, because I'm here to tell you that it's never too late. And that concludes my talk. And I also want to offer you a complimentary chapter of my book. All these things that I talked about and so much more is in my book, currently on Amazon. It's Never Too Late. And I want to offer you a complimentary chapter. And it's the chapter on confidence. I want to show you why confidence is currency. I share so many details there about that. And you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at iamkimford.com, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luann Barry, CEO of Spice Lab Enterprise, and welcome to my segment of the Brand Uniquely You virtual conference. And, it is such an honor to be here. And I know there are so many other amazing guest speakers that are going to be filling your soul with all the knowledge that you need to become a bigger and bolder you. But I like that I'm coming at the tail end, and I'll tell you why. Because I think when you bring it all together and you get all the information, a lot of us are left with, but what do I do now? And so what do I do? Here at Spice Lab, we are a boutique project management firm that supports high-performing entrepreneurs to develop and implement strategies to build, sustain, and grow their businesses. What does that translate to? Simply put, I help you put your vision to the forefront, add strategies that will save you time and money. Because at the end of the day, we want to execute our dreams. We want to see that business vision that we have, our babies, come to life. But a lot of times we stumble along the way, especially if you are new into entrepreneurship. And wasting time and wasting money is something that really seems to be par for the course. I know I went through it. I've lost lots of money. I have wasted lots of time making mistakes. But you know what? That is the blessing that was in disguise, because I'm here today sharing my experiences and sharing the strategies that have developed because of those missteps so that I can help others try to avoid them. We can't say erase it all or miss it completely, because you know what? Making the mistakes is part of the journey. But what I do is I help people understand the importance of strategy, and also the importance of understanding, how do you become a bigger, bolder you? What is your vision? You have to own what is your vision. What is it that you want to do? Where is it that you want to be? What is the next product or service that you want to develop for your business? A lot of times we get lost in the minutia of executing something or just getting something out there, right? Because it's not always going to be perfect. And a lot of times we hear, just do it, just launch the thing. Yes, there is truth to that. However, we also want to be strategic. When you add strategy, it just helps to add a little bit more structure and focus to what it is that you are striving to do in executing your vision, right? So let's take a step back. What does it mean to have your vision? A lot of times, I think we miss this point. of what is really at the root. And it is my job as a business strategist and project manager with any client I work with. My first question is, what is it that you want? How do you see yourself in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, right? We all can wish for the end result, but then you have to work backwards and figure out, well, how do I get there, right? And the only way to do that is you got to plan. You can't not plan. You have to plan. And in planning, you've got to set milestones and metrics, things. How are you going to measure your success? I'm going to give you tips on how to do that. Don't worry. But what I want you to understand is that your vision is the catalyst for your evolution in morphing into a bigger, bolder you. I know it's what has always been the main staple for me as I've reinvented my business. So I have been an entrepreneur for 8 years now, and have also worked corporately for 20 years. So like many entrepreneurs, I also have a regular job, but I also am a full-time entrepreneur. And I just understand the balance of what it needs and what it means to execute and have your business, but also conduct business, if that makes any sense. So I want to ask you 2 questions. Do you know what the difference is between envisioning something and having a vision? And also, do you have a plan? So to envision, recapping or just, it in shorter terms means to imagine. So it's, what do you imagine? What is the thing that you're thinking about, but you haven't actually put any action to, any steps to, you haven't really made any movement? Those are the things that we refer to people that are still sitting on the sidelines, right? When are you going to actually move on that? So it's, you've envisioned something is in your mind. What are you thinking about? Where do you dream of going? Where do you dream of being? What's the money you dream of making? So now that's what it means to envision, right? Just to imagine. But what does it mean to have a vision? The vision is the thing. It becomes a realistic thing when you take what it is that you envision and what you dream of, and you actually put steps to it. You actually put milestones to it. It's something that you create a plan. It becomes real. So now to take the envision aspect and move it into an actual vision means that you're putting action to it. You're making it realistic. And so this is the thing that I coach on, and the thing that I'm going to talk to you about. And I'm going to give you some strategies on how do you activate your vision, right? You got to activate it. You've got to put it into motion in order to become bigger and bolder, in order to see results, in order to see movement. No one says movement has to be large leaps and bounds. You got to also celebrate the small wins, right? Because any continuous motion means that you're still moving. You haven't stopped. It's okay if you have to slow down, but don't stop. So I want you to think about, what is that vision that you have for your business? Is it a new product? Is it a new service? Are you new to entrepreneurship? Are you stuck trying to figure out, what do I do next? How do I get from point A to point D? Not B, but how do I get from A to D? I want you to also know that it's important to understand your why, right? The vision is what do we want to do? But why are you doing it? Are you doing it because it feels good, right? So sometimes we do something and it's an intangible, right? We don't necessarily have a physical thing that we can align to it, but it makes us feel great. This is what I do in my business. A big reason of why I do what I do, because I love to see other people win. It makes me feel great. And that feeling alone outshines a lot of other aspects of why I do what I do. Then there's the tangible. All right. So let's just be realistic. Sometimes some people just do a thing because they want a thing. So you do a thing to get a thing. So you're executing or you're selling a product because you want to go on this trip or this vacation. You're doing this service or this product because you want a new wardrobe. You want that car. You want a new house. that's the tangible aspect. So you're doing it because you want to be able to gain something physical that you can align to the success of what that vision is. The last part of your why that I want you to consider is sometimes we are put in positions where we do what we have to do because it needs to benefit somebody else. Many of us have children, just keeping it simple, right? So there are things that I do and many parents have done because they want to give their children a better life. They want to create legacy. It's not so much about you, it's about the other person. So I juggle two full-time roles, not even including motherhood, right? But I do it. I sacrifice the lack of sleep because I get up early before my 9 to 5 starts. I get up before the children are awake because I need to attend to things for my clients. I need to do some research. I go to sleep late because I need to continue doing what I need to do for my family. So that is another reason of what's your why. Now, it is natural to have a mix of all three, the intangible, the tangible, and where the focus is put on somebody else. And I think it's natural for most of us to be in that position. It's just a matter of what has more merit, what has more weight, what is more important to you as you execute your vision, right? Because if it's a financial gain, then you know how to apply your strategy. If it's because you just want it feels good, like community service or something that's going to benefit the community, right? It's others that we're putting ahead of ourselves. So it's what is the weight? What is the why? So understand what is the what. So the what is your vision, and the why. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to execute this vision? Got it? You with me still? So I want to give you 10 tips on how to actively execute your vision. You guys ready? I hope you got pen, paper, notepad, tablet, whatever tool you need. I want you to capture all of these tips. You ready? So let's go. Tip 1, do an audit. You don't have to, and I'm not talking about audit financially. Do an audit on where were you before you had this vision? What caused this vision to come to the forefront? I want you to acknowledge the where you've been to the where you are now, right? Because in executing the vision is where you want to be. So take an audit, take the time to review what has affected your decisions, what's going to affect the things that you do moving forward once you execute this vision, okay? Tip 2, strategize. Because once you take stock of where you are and where you were, now you can apply strategies to where you want to go. So it's important to be strategic. Look for partners, look for different things that you can align. It could be processes, it could be apps, it could be barter. There's so many different ways that you can create strategies to align with your vision that will help you move the needle, even if it's an inch. Nobody said you got to be running out the gate, okay? I want you to be strategic and take your time. As my mother always says, Rome wasn't built in a day. So remember, your business does not need to be built in a day either, okay? So I want you to take your time and really strategize and think about what's important and what do you need to implement in order to get this vision going. Third is to plan, okay? So now you've done the audit. You figured out where you are, where you were. We're going to own our mistakes. We're going to own our wins. But now we're going to do something new. We're now going to strategize. We're going to think about, we're going to brainstorm. What do we need to do in order to get to where we want to go? So now we're going to take all of that and we're going to put it into a plan. Planning is mandatory. I like to say the best surprise birthday parties are always planned. You got to plan it, right? Because you don't want the person that you're trying to surprise to find out what's going on, right? You with me? So you still have to have a plan. You still have to figure out what it is that you need to do, what it is that, how are you going to align the different strategies, different resources, new partnerships How is it going to align with what it is that you're trying to do? And it has to make sense, okay? Don't do it just because you can. Do it because it's going to really create impact in what you're trying to do. Tip number 4, prospect, okay? When you strategize and you have a plan, before you actually move into execution, look for the new partnerships. No one said you have to utilize what you have. If it works, it works. But there's nothing wrong with prospecting. Look for different people that you can partner with. Look for different resources. Look for different things that will help put time back in your day, things that can help streamline the plan that you now want to execute, that you've worked on and you've applied strategies to, right? So prospect for new resources, new things, new metrics, right? So maybe you might identify there's a new way to measure the level of success for what it is that you're about to execute. Tip number 5, I just mentioned it, I'm going to say it again. Set metrics. You want to be able to measure your success, measure what it is that you've done. Identify what is going to be able to let you know, this really wasn't so great, or man, this really worked out well. We need to continue doing this. I need to keep working with this person. This resource really didn't help me do much. This actually took more time instead of giving me more time back in my day. So you want to set metrics that are going to measure the success and the not so successful moments of what you do in executing your plan. Tip number 6 is execute. It's go time. Okay. Don't be afraid to just do it. When you are strategic and you take a moment to take your time and put things in place, it's not going to be perfect, right? There's always going to be mistakes. Some are small, some are really big. But as long as you take the time to really put certain things in place and set a good foundation, just execute, just put things in motion and enjoy and celebrate the win in just executing and just getting it off the ground. Now, listen, for some people, to execute could simply be getting your business name registered with the state that you live in and getting your articles of organization confirmed and saying, man, my business is really official. That's a win. You've executed something, right? Congratulations. For others, it's a product or service, a new product or service. So you have to identify what are the different things that you need to incorporate that you're going to execute. Set those metrics. Make sure it aligns with your plan and the strategies that you implemented. Am I making sense? You still with me? Okay. Tip number 7, monitor what's going on. Okay. So you just don't want to let it go and just let it be. Take 30, 45, 60 days even to monitor what it is that you've put out there. Sometimes it doesn't need that much time. Sometimes it could just be a week or a couple of days, but set some sort of milestone, some set of something that will help you understand as you monitor the progress of what you've executed that, okay, we're sticking to our timeline, or we're falling behind on our timeline. That's also important, because when you fall behind, it means that you may have to invest more money and time that you may not have in order to get things where they want to be. Okay, that's the important part of being strategic. Point number 8 is adjust. You've got to be able to adjust your plan, adjust your timeline, adjust strategies. It really is okay to make changes as you see fit. No one says you have to be stuck doing something if it's not working. So you've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to be fluid with the changes. Take the punches and roll with it, as they say. Point number 9, calibrate and set new metrics. So as you've adjusted and you monitored, now you want to calibrate. You want to see, okay, how is this change that I've made? How is it actually working? That's it, really important. You've got to be able to calibrate and check that you're still maintaining the momentum that you set out. It's okay if you got to slow down, just don't stop, keep going. And then set new metrics, right? So now that you've calibrated your plan, you've added the adjustments that you needed to make, set new metrics so that you know what you're going to be measuring your success or not so successful moments against. Point number 10, accelerate, okay? Hit the gas and keep going. Sometimes if it doesn't work, you just got to close it out. You just got to take the losses, close it out, and maybe take the moment to reset, review, and then re-execute after you've gone through the 10 steps that I just gave you, okay? So quick rundown, 10 steps on how to activate your vision for a bigger and bolder you. Tip number 1, audit. Take the time to review. Tip number 2, strategy. Number 3, plan. Number 4, prospect. 5, set metrics and review. Number 6, execute. Just go with it. Just let it go. You've done the work. Let's see what's really working for you. Tip number 7, monitor. Tip number 8, adjust. It's okay. We do have to make changes sometimes. So be fluid and be open to it. Number 9, calibrate and set new metrics. And number 10, just go. Accelerate. Accelerate if it's working, close out or end and readjust. And if it's not working, don't be afraid to let it go and leave it behind. Okay? I hope this was helpful for you. Please meet me at my virtual booth. Let's talk some more about your visions. Let's talk some more about how to be strategic in getting these things off the ground and getting them into motion, but also what do you need to do to become a bigger and bolder you? Lastly, please connect with me. You can find me on Instagram at SpiceLab, SPICELAB, or feel free to drop me an email. My email address is info, INFO, at SpiceLab Media. That's SPICELABMedia.com. I am looking forward to seeing where your vision takes you next, and I'm cheerleading for you. Don't stop, keep going. This is your time to be and own the bigger, bolder you.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Oluwabumi Adebanjo, but I go by Bumi Success Driven Adebanjo. And I just wanted to quickly just send a message just to let people know what an awesome young lady Alicia Brooks is. I was such a, I would say, grateful young lady when I actually was blessed to have come across her path, or I would say God allowed us to attract to one another as a confirmation for me. When I was in Lagos, Nigeria, one of my best friends had invited me to a women's event. Didn't know what to expect, didn't know who the speakers were, but I was told it was going to be a great event. And so went with the anticipation and excitement, and all the speakers were speaking, they were great. But when I immediately just heard Miss Alicia Brooks, we connected unbeknownst to her just from the stage. And I was like, man, I have to meet this awesome, phenomenal speaker. And she's from America. And when she shared where she resided, I just knew it was confirmation, because at that time I was debating based on what was put in my spirit on where to relocate to. And when she mentioned that she was here in North Carolina, I definitely knew that that was confirmation from God, that not only was she someone that was used to let me know that was where he wanted me to go, but definitely as a success coach, because I was actually looking for a success coach, and we connected. And it's been great since. And that was back in 2014. And here we are in 2021. She's just growing bigger and bolder, and there's never a dull moment in her presence. I'm always stretched, growing, just in the midst of being in the midst of greatness. Immensely wealth of knowledge, never a dull moment. She always has me on my toes, yearning to learn, because the educated never graduates. And so I'm so excited for this program that she's about to put on, that you guys be ready, holding your seats, and know that your life will never be the same. With that, much love. Success to you, Miss Alicia Brooks. See you at the top. Bye. Signing out.
Hello, amazings. It's Alicia Brooks here to give you an opportunity to work with me. I have been working with amazing clients for over 25 years, one-on-one, which I know is kind of like sort of held me back. But I have shifted my business model to one-to-many so that I can transform and do life together with more amazing women such as yourself and create new memories and experiences together. I told you I knew at age 15 what I was called and purposed to do in my life. And right now, the time is here. I bring all of my life experiences, my hard work and dedication, passion and love for what I do to ensure everyone whom I engage with wins, and we win together daily. So if you're tired of feeling overlooked and underpaid, if you are tired of playing small in life and not living up to your fullest potential, if you have put your purpose on pause and your voice on mute, when you know that you have Brannique brilliance that the world is waiting on, they're waiting on you to show up. So if you have not betted on you nor committed to you or your dreams, then the time is now. It's time to choose you. It's time to bet on you. It's time to really do you. So, I know that we have to invest in ourselves. You have to invest in our personal and business brands, along with your dreams, your passion and purpose. You don't want that to go away. So if you are not clear about who you are and how you really want to show up in the world, or you are not confident, nor do you have a personal brand that shares your truth and the essence of who you really are, along having your story interwoven into your purpose, and using your past pain to elevate you and turning that into your superpower so you can soar with the eagles, then I would love to invite you to work with me, giving me the opportunity to redefine, reset, and redesign your life and build a personal brand that speaks to the essence of who you are, so that you can live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of and desired. So are you really ready for a journey of transforming your mind, elevating your emotional intelligence? How do you show up for yourself, and this before the world sees you? You've got to be prepared. So then there are some of you who are looking and want a little bit more. So you want to go a little bit deeper. Well, it's time now to be a bigger, bolder version of you. So I would like for you to start today, committing to yourself today that you're going to take action. So if you're asking yourself, is there a place for you over here in Branniquely You Academy? The answer is absolutely yes. I want you to go over to brandheressence.com to see what you can do. Then there are some of you who may be out there and you're like, hey, I've done the work. I've gone within and I figured it all out. I know who I am. I'm ready to stand in my purpose, but I just don't know how to put it all together. Well, I say it starts with the foundation, which includes my 7 M's: mastermind, mindset, mission, mastery, your message, your methodology, your makeover, so that you can be memorable for your money. I want you to create a personal brand that attracts and not repels. You want to be able to work with someone who can take you step by step through the process of figuring out who you are and what is your personal brand, along with what does it stand for. And if that is you, there is a place for you here as well. So let's connect, because that's really where we can begin to mastermind and come together and make your big ideas come into fruition, because they've been brewing for so long and we need to make them relevant and real now. If you commit to yourself for 6 months or maybe a year, you will be able to make leaps and bounds to live a bigger, bolder version of you, and to truly show up for yourself, for your family, and for the world. The world is waiting for you. So what am I saying? It all starts with you going over to brandheressence.com, making a decision and a commitment to yourself so that you can figure out which pathway is going to be best for you. And I promise you, there's a pathway for everyone. You should always invest at the level in which you want to see the return on investment on you. It is an investment and not a cost. So when you are leveling up your brand, remember that. Let's continue to have these powerful conversations about you being the biggest, the boldest, and the bravest version of you. Go to brandheressence.com. And I would love to connect and work with you. But not only that, I would love for us to win in living a bigger, bolder version of us in every single area of our lives. Let's do it together. Let's do life together. Remember, go be and live your brand, because it is the year of you. Mwah.
Welcome. Hello, I am Dr. Marcia, and I am a physician. I am a life coach. I am the CEO of In Full Bloom Health and Life Coaching and founder of Women Ready to Move Academy. I am so honored to be here with you at Bigger and Bolder You. I also have the privilege and honor of coaching women who are trapped in their personal prison of life. I help them to break out and finally live life without limits so they can be free to find their greatness. Today, we are talking about getting out of your prison and becoming the X Factor. The 3 secrets to living bigger and bolder. The X Factor, that thing that shifts you from your current self to your future self. From the I have to I get to. From failing at perfection to flourishing in forward progress. You will walk out of this virtual room today with the 3 secrets that will unlock that prison cell and transform you into your future version of yourself that is ready to live bigger and bolder, to level up and to lead. Are you ready? If you're ready, I want you to say, I'm ready. I'm ready, Dr. Marcia. I'm ready. Okay. Can I hear you do it one more time? Say, I'm ready. All right, then let's go. So billions of dollars are spent in the entertainment industry, in the executive boardroom, and even in the classroom, trying to find people with that X factor, the next big hit, or the brightest star, the disruptor, and even the triple threat. But what is that X factor really? Google may say the X factor is that special but rare quality that sets you apart, that propels you into greatness, or that's that like wow factor. So who comes to mind for you when you think about the X factor? Maybe you think of Oprah, or maybe Beyonce, or even our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. But where do you think the X factor comes from? Some people may think that you're born with it. Some that it's something that's taught. And even others may say that it's something that we experience. While I think these three things contribute, I think something else plays a greater role. Can I share some of my story? I was born with this birthmark on my face. It was something that I hated, and this flaw would shape who I would become. This mark affected my self-esteem. It affected how I just showed up in the world. I thought it was ugly, and I wouldn't look people in the eye. I would shrink, and I found myself being trapped in this box that I put myself in. I wouldn't look people in the eye. I wouldn't raise my hand. I wouldn't do those things that I wanted because I thought differently about myself. I was trapped within my own skin. Who else has a flaw, an imperfection, a defect, if you will? And sometimes it's not physical. Sometimes it's emotional, but it's something that just weighs us down and alters your life. These thoughts had me hiding, and I wore bangs for a while, and I had glasses, and then sometimes I would take on makeup. But it took me 10 years to get over that, 10 years of my early life that were lost because I was worried about what others thought. But you know how life goes. There are other flaws, other things that come up that I decided I didn't want to wait 10 years. I didn't want to waste any more time getting over the things. And so what I ended up doing, I was introduced to the world of coaching, and I became a coach. I became the coach that I needed all of those years. And I also hired a coach. Well, actually, I hired 3 coaches. But that's when I began to channel my X factor. Now I walk boldly into rooms. I look people in the eye, and I raise my hand. But let's talk about your X factor and the 3 secrets to living a bigger and bolder. Here's the first secret in becoming the X factor. And this is critical. The X factor is a who and not a what. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. The X factor is a who and not a what. It's not something you were born with, not something you were taught, and not something that you gained from experience. I want you to hear me. The X factor is you. You are your own X factor. You are your own X factor. When I started thinking that I am the X factor, it was a game changer. It changed how I thought about myself, how I moved through each day, how I even saw the challenges in front of me. I want you to think about a situation that you're losing sleep over right now. Does everyone have it? Something that's keeping you up, something that you're stressing over, something that you're getting an ulcer over. And I want you to say out loud, I am the X factor. Say it now. I will say it together. Say, I am the X factor. In that, I can feel the shift in me. And I want you, if you didn't feel it, I want you to say it a few more times until you feel the change. And now that you feel the change, how now will you show up differently in that situation? What will you now do? And what else will you think about yourself? I want you to stop looking for someone else to swoop into your life and to live it for you. No one is coming. You are the X factor. You have all of the answers to get to the next phase, to get over that challenge. I want you to think about Oprah. Some of you may know her story about how she was molested as a child and how she came up through the broadcasting field. None of that was as important as her deciding in that moment that she wanted to be great. The second secret to becoming the X factor, that it's time to level up your belief in your X factor. There is a spectrum where we go from having a little bit of belief, a little bit of the time, to having a lot of belief a lot of the time. And we tend to fluctuate from day to day and from moment to moment. But the more that you can fluctuate up here as opposed to down here, gets you from a place of it's possible to it's probable to it's inevitable. And that's where we want to live. We should focus more on what you believe about yourself and less about what other people believe about you. And that's where we get caught up. We get caught up worrying too much about what others are going to say than what we think and what we say. How much time do you think former First Lady Michelle Obama spends questioning her belief in herself? Probably very little. And when we level up our belief, that's when we can begin to be bigger and bolder, and we can lead those who we are called to lead and to serve. All right? The third secret is to take bold action. What you do or don't do is going to make all of the difference. Go do the damn thing. Stop talking yourself out of it. Stop second guessing it. It's time to start moving. It's time to start doing. Time is over for us sitting back and being afraid to move. And this is the difference between you being expendable and you being exceptional. Which one would you rather get? A participation certificate or the first place prize? When you believe that you are the X factor, there is nothing, right? Nothing that you cannot do or be. And when your people, the ones that you are here to serve, they are waiting on you. They're waiting on you to be bigger. They're waiting on you to be bolder. And they're waiting for you to lead. So it is go time. It's not time to sit around anymore. It's time to move. And I understand because I've been there. But I didn't know how to tap into my X factor. But I knew that there were women who needed me. I have a client, her name is Katrina. And she, when I met her, she was feeling stuck but wanted to move to a different place, a different town for a fresh start. But what I noticed was that she was allowing others to run her life, her family. And her moving out of the area was her running away. But she found her voice, which was her X factor. And she started to decide what she wanted. And she set the boundaries with her family. And she was able to stay in her town. And that's where she really wanted to be. But now the relationships were different. There was another client I had, her name is June, and she was in a toxic relationship with a narcissist. And she also was feeling like she wasn't enough. But through the coaching, she discovered herself. She decided that she was enough and that she deserved better. And she found her X factor. She would then decide that she no longer wanted to be in that relationship. And in the process of leaving, she ended up finding a new relationship, and which turns out to be the love of her life. Who else is ready for that type of transformation? Maybe you are living under your potential and you're hiding, ducking and diving and weaving, trying to stay out of the spotlight. Maybe you're lacking the confidence to step out and be seen. Maybe you're like June and you're trapped in a bad relationship or situation. Or maybe you've just lost trust in yourself, in your decision-making skills, or even the spark has gone out and you don't even know what you want. Some of you are ready for a change, ready to move. And so I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be bigger and bolder. The first thing, I want you to acknowledge where you are. It's okay not to be okay. The second is stop DIYing it, the do-it-yourself approach. Reach out, get some assistance, invest in yourself, and even get a coach who can walk you through the process. And also, the last one is keep moving. A lot of times we stay stuck. We've left where we are or were, but we don't keep moving. But this is about progress and not perfection. So as I close, I want to thank you for sharing this time with me. And I want to offer you a free gift. I want you to go to www.drmarcia free gift. That's Dr. Marcia, Marcea, freegift.com. The X Factor and leading is also about leading ourselves and self-leadership. And so this free video talks about teaching others how to treat you. The 3 false beliefs that keep you mistreated in relationships. And I also want us to stay connected. So if you can go over to my website, it's www.infullbloomhealthandlifecoaching.com. That again is www.infullbloomhealthandlifecoaching.com. I also invite you to join my private Facebook group. It's called Life Coaching with Marcia on Facebook. I would love to connect with you. Just stay connected and walk this journey out together. Again, thank you so much. I want you to enjoy this awesome conference. Get all that you can get and implement. It's time to start moving. Again, it's Life Coach Marcia, and I'm happy to share this time with you, and have a great rest of the day. Take care.
Hello, everyone. My name is Obiama Martin, and I am absolutely delighted that I get an opportunity to share my heart with you on today. And so many of you are meeting me for the first time and don't know who I am. And so let me kind of just start with a little introduction. And so I am a author, speaker, serialpreneur, mom, educator, trainer, minister, all of these different hats that I wear. And it is what makes me absolutely amazing today, right? And so I'm here, but I want to tell you how I got here. I want to tell you some secrets on how I got here. And so I want to talk to you about, when you get to a place where you're up here and the cost that is required to stay up here and the things that you have to overcome once you get up here. So see, there was a time that I can remember when I was back in 2009, I was in a horrific car accident. And prior to 2009, I was very outgoing and social. I owned a consultant business. I owned not a training company at the time. I didn't have a training company at the time. I had a consultant business at the time, and I was helping individuals start and maintain their business. And I was doing professional development training specifically for the early education space. And so I was also an advocate for the Southeast region of Pennsylvania. And I was in school at that time to obtain my bachelor's degree. And so May 2009, I want you guys to picture this. I am on my way to church with my family. I am sitting in the passenger seat. My ex is sitting in the driver's seat. Our 3 children are in back of us. And so we are on our way on a Sunday morning to church, and we are on 495, and it's raining. And you know what happens on a Sunday? People tend to drive slow, and it's raining on top of that. And so we are sitting on 495, and it is back-to-back traffic. And we're slowly moving. And so, we're going along like we usually do. And in the rearview mirror, and I can see it as clear as I am looking at you, in the rearview mirror, I happen to glance over and I can see the tractor trailer behind us. And just like that, in a moment, the tractor trailer had hit us. Bam. And everything that I knew literally flashed before me in seconds. And all I can tell you is next is my vision became very blurry. I could barely see anything. Everything was a blur. I was dizzy. My head is pounding and blood is everywhere. And so, the console that is between the passenger and the driver's seat, I can remember my head hanging over like this. And I can remember as my head is tilted over, not really being able to see anything or anybody. My head is tilted over and I cannot raise my head, and literally blood is coming it's coming from everywhere. And I don't even understand at this point the damage that was done. And my family is out of the car, and people are standing around because they could not get me out of the car. And so ambulance and fire trucks and police are coming. But see, the impact of the collision, the impact of the tractor trailer left me with my jaw broken and unable to physically move. And so they had to cut me out of the car with the jaws of life. And so what I remember most about that day is being in a place where I felt like, how was I going to overcome this? How was I going to get over this? How was I going to continue to work? And at this point in my career, my business was really thriving. I was making six figures. I was doing really, really well. And just like that, everything was gone. Everything was gone. And so it was a journey that went on for about a year of me being in physical therapy, of me not being able to talk. But there were some key things that happened during that time that I had to overcome, that I'm going to share with you about overcoming. Seeing it was at that time where I learned who really had my back. It was during that time that I learned who my real friends were. It was during that time that I learned how to depend on Jesus, because it was during that time when I went from a thriving business, talking and training and speaking all over, to being shut down, not being able to speak. Can you imagine your mouth being muzzled? Can you imagine for 10 weeks, my mouth was wired shut and everything that I consumed was from a straw? Can you imagine how debilitating that was? Can you imagine how you go from a place where you are on the top of the world and everything is going so amazingly awesome, and then in a second, everything can be taken away from you? And so I can remember feeling like, Lord, why did this happen? I'm on my way to church. I'm praising you. I'm hallelujah. I am a tither. I am a giver. How many of you ever begin to look at your life and begin to assess all the things that you've done? And because you're trying to put the pieces together, you're trying to figure out, how could this happen to me? I'm a good person, right? That's something that we always say. I'm a good person. How could this happen to me? Well, the truth is, good things and bad things happen to great people. Good things and bad things happen to good people. And so regardless of my track record, regardless of who I am and who I was and all of the great things that I've done in the world and for other people, when life showed up for me in the form of that horrific accident, all the things that were on the surface level began to reveal their roots. And so it was at that time where I had to make a decision. And so my body was literally, it was stretched to limits that I had no idea that it could be stretched. I was in positions that I absolutely could not foresee me being in. And I could only depend on my Lord. I could only depend on my Lord. That was one of the secrets, one of the ways, one of the key ingredients of how I got over. Another one was my ability to believe that this was not my destiny and this was not my final destination. So there were some things on the inside of me that just refused to accept what I was, because see, I wasn't supposed to walk. I wasn't supposed to have mobility. I had a slip disc in my back. My sciatic nerve was now triggered. And at any given time, I want you to imagine this, at any given time, I could be standing like this and talking, and I could get a sharp pain from my foot straight up to my back, up to my spine that would, just literally, no matter where I was, bring me to the ground. Can you imagine? And so I went a whole year and probably a couple of years, honestly, I couldn't stand the way that I'm standing before you now. And I couldn't sit. I couldn't do anything longer than 5 minutes because of the pain. Can you imagine having to get constant needles in your back for pain management? There were so many things that went through my mind, went through my body, that I had no idea that I would be in a position or have to experience. But the secret is that there is so much in you. There is so much in you that you can't see until you are in a situation that is so debilitating that you have to rely on everything that's on the inside of you to bring you out. And so, I'm dealing with depression. I'm dealing with, suicidal thoughts. I'm dealing with overwhelmed and stress and frustration and irritation because, see, all the people that I had helped up until that point, they were nowhere to be around. And my business that was thriving was put on a halt. It was no longer thriving because, see, I was the front person as well as the mouthpiece. And who was going to do my training now? See, 2009, we didn't have all of the technology that we have now. And there were some things that I just didn't know. I didn't have systems in place. And I had a team, but, people change up when it comes to money. People change up when you're no longer the person that they think that you should be or the person that they thought that you were. And so I had to deal with betrayal, and I had to deal with people trying to take my contracts and literally bring me to my demise as a result of what they looked like was not going to be a return. And so here's the truth. The truth is, and the secret is, there is absolutely nothing in life that you can't overcome. There is absolutely nothing in life that you can't overcome. You know why? Because there is a God, there is a God, there is a God, there is a God who has created you to conquer and to overcome all things with him. All things with him. So the word tells us, the good book, the Bible, as some of us call it, that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And if we believe, if only we believe, we can achieve any and everything. And so when I went through that experience, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I was going to come out of this. I just didn't know how long it was going to take. And so the secret is, now in my life, I am absolutely on the other side of that. That was over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 2009 is when I had that accident. And I am back stronger and better than I ever was, because what was designed to destroy me made me stronger. And some of us can look at a situation and we can allow that situation to overtake us, to literally shut us down and to silence our voice. But I say to you, change your perception. Change how you see things, because there's always another side that you didn't see the first time. There's always a plan B. There's always another perspective. And so I was able to pivot from that experience because of my faith. I was able to overcome that experience that literally could have left me for dead. But God, it wasn't my time. And whatever it is that you're dealing with today in life and in business, you are here because you have a purpose. You are here because people are waiting for you. You are here because you have a product, you have a service, and you have a message. And if you don't show up, the person, the people, the tribe, the community that you are called to are going to miss out, because you made a decision that your situation and your circumstance was more important than the call, than the purpose, than the message that's on the inside of your belly. And I get to say to you today that the secret to overcoming starts right here. It's all in your mindset. What do you believe? See, what I understand is that I have the power, because of who created me, to change my trajectory. See, I understand that I have the power, because of who created me, to change the narrative. And guess what? The truth is, the secret is, you have that same power. You have that same authority. See, the truth is, we were called to dominate. We were not called to be beneath. We were not called to be damsels in distress. Do you hear me, women? We were not called to be damsel in distress. See, we were placed here to create, to give birth. And I want to know, I'm calling you out right now. What are you not giving birth to? What have you said no to because you didn't look in the mirror and say that you were enough? You counted yourself out, and you did not think that you were big enough to compete. You were not big enough to play with the other players. You didn't have what you thought you needed to survive. But the secret is, everything that you need is already on the inside of you. See, the secret is, God made us equal. You hear me? God made us equal. That's the secret. God made us equal. We have the same authority. We have the same ability. We have the same skill set. We have the same of everything. And guess what else? We have the same 24 hours. And what you decide to do in your 24 hours is your business. But here's the secret. You can be faster. You can be further faster when you get your mind right. When you get your mind right, you can put the right systems in place. And when you get your mind right and you put the right systems in place, oh shucks, watch out. Because the secret is you are already amazing. And if nobody has told you that today, let me be the first one. My sister, my queen, you are amazing. And everything that you need is already on the inside of you. Everything you need to scale, everything you need to go to the next level, everything you need to break through, everything you need to stand up, to stand out, to show up and show out, it's already in you. All you have to do is believe and then do. That's it. That's the secret. Believe right here. Say with your mouth what you want to see with your eyes. Say with your mouth what you want to see with your eyes. Believe it here. See yourself here. And that is the secret to overcoming. Listen, my name is Obiama Martin, and I have enjoyed our time together. I hope to connect with you very soon. You can go to my website, omazingyou.com. That is OMAZINGYOU.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Obiama Martin and also on Instagram at I am Obiama Martin. Again, I would love to connect with you. I have a special gift for you. Make sure you click on the link so that you can get your free gift and also connect with me. I would love to support you and serve and help you get from wherever you are right now to your next. Until we meet, stay on purpose, fruitful, profitable, and productive. I'm your sister in this journey called Breathe. Peace.
Welcome to the Bigger Bolder You Global Conference. I am so glad to be in the presence of all the men that's on the panel. Thank you for joining this wonderful conference. My name is Chris Sherrill, and I am a life coach, and I am here with 4 amazing men, and they're going to tell their stories, and we're going to start with Vance on introducing himself.
Well, hello, excited to be here. I am Vance Andre. I am a Senior Vice President at Bank of America in the CFO group, where I manage a global support center. I am also a certified life and relationship coach, where I specialize in helping men and women move forward from broken relationships and live a healthy, balanced, and fulfilling life. I am the owner of Advance to Grow Coaching. I also have a podcast called Between Love and Hate, where we talk all about relationships and try to bridge the gap between men and women and make things right. So excited to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Vance, and welcome. John Allen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny Allen. I am the Executive Director of A Step Up. We provide professional development for college coaches, D1 coaches, leadership development, strategic planning. We also work with college teams from anywhere from Alabama to University of South Carolina, Notre Dame, many of the D1 teams. We're fortunate to be able to work with the NFL with their transition programs and providing an outlet for next step for players that no longer have a contract. And I'm also married to Felicia Hall Allen and have 2 children, grown adult children, of course, but just excited about being on this panel with this outstanding group of men.
Thank you, Johnny. And Marvin, you're up.
Great. My name is Marvin Wilson. Desert Storm vet. Actually, I have three companies. One is a nonprofit, which is Wisdom Foundation, that definitely teaches self-image and likeness, mentorship, teaches definitely with the youth with financial literacy. I actually have also a business that's called Funding Credit, which is here in the Carolinas and actually in the malls with kiosks, giving information about building businesses, supporting ongoing future entrepreneurs, acquisitions, and being able to build leverage and build credit in the businesses as well. So with that, I'm a veteran ticketing conglomerate veteran. Was the first Black ticket master that brought the CIAA to Charlotte, and have really been instrumental with working with a lot of different agencies around here dealing with venues and putting ticketing allocations in convention centers. So, and I also have a podcast, which is Meta Marvin. I teach spiritual economics.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marvin. And Darryl Kelly.
Yes, good to be here and good to see everyone. I am Darryl Kelly from Panama City, Florida, and I am senior pastor of Free Spirit Community Church, but I'm also an author and founder and CEO of Inspired Life Publishers, through which I have published my own books as well as some other authors in the area, and also founder of Inspired Life Incorporated, where we're looking to enhance and support education through scholarship and mentorship. It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Thank you, Kings. I appreciate you being on stage. And of course, our Bigger Bolder You is about our queens. And so my first question, Darryl, since you finished, we're going to start with you first. And I want you to give me an example of what you have done to be supportive or work alongside of a queen.
Yeah, absolutely. Supporting women, in their journey to success really should be something natural to us as Black men, especially when we are able to recognize the value and just the part that we can play in supporting and helping push them into their passions and their goals and their destiny. Like for me personally, I know within the ministry, I've been able to elevate and promote women to significant positions within the ministry. And so when we look at just building a team and moving a vision forward, whether it's ministry, whether it's business, whether it's a family, I'm not looking at, in this situation, whether it's a male or female, but I'm looking at who's competent, who's capable, who's committed, who can get it done. And a lot of times, women have come through in a big way. And so I'm glad that, and one of those women being promoted was my wife. And so I'm glad to see her flourish in her gifting, her ideas, things come alive in her, to especially ministering to other women and the young girls, the teen girls. And so she's been able to express herself differently because that position opened up the authority and the freedom and the liberty. And the people see her in that way and they respect her in that way to follow her lead on those things. So yes, I think we can support our women as they rise to positions.
And thank you for sharing, Darryl. That was very informative. And we're going to move to Vance. And Vance, if you can answer the same question, that would be amazing.
Sure. Yeah. So I've served as a mentor to a few women in my corporate space, really helping them to navigate corporate America, helping them to set up themselves with, in networking, focusing on career development, really understanding what it is that they want to do and how to go about getting that. And then getting them exposure to senior leadership through special projects. Outside of corporate America, I have conversations like these, right, where I talk to women about relationships specifically. Obviously, relationships are a very important part of what we do in our lives today. So really just helping them to understand about balance. Women have a lot going on today. There's a lot more responsibilities in some cases. If you are both the mother and sometimes the father at the house. So how do you balance that? How do you make sure if you are in a marriage and you're trying to grow your career, how do you have that conversation with your husband, right? So there's no potential conflict. So having, just general conversations have really been some of the things that I've done and I enjoy doing to help women succeed. So I agree with Darryl. I think, it's a partnership, right? Brothers and sisters, we got to help each other out. So those are just a few of the things that I've done so far.
Awesome. And I appreciate that. Marvin.
Yes, I think that I think with my journey and just having the type of relationships and the friendships, I've left corporate in 2007. I was actually working when I left the Pentagon, I was working at the Veterans Hospital and was running a lot of nurses, just young ladies that was really just trying to, head high positions, physician assistants, doctors, and they were all like, Marvin, what is it? I just want to find a man that's genuine. And so I just basically told them, just find your purpose first. Don't try not to so much be in a hurry. I know we've all been told that, the right here, right now, that feels good. But I think that, as you go with your journey, just try not to be hard on yourself. And I just told them, just be your authentic self. And, and just be open, try not to put yourself in a self-made prison and try not to be so race consciousness. And, but at the end of the day, make sure you know your worth and, put your best foot forward. But at the end of the day, make sure that man honors you as a woman first. Then all those other titles will come after that.
Awesome. Thank you. I definitely appreciate. And Johnny.
Well, as I said, I am a co-founder of A Step Up, which provides professional development for coaches. About 60% of our business is on the women's side. And so my wife used to run the WNBA, the Sting, when they were in Charlotte. And so when starting our business and her having those relationships and growing in that area, she is the face of that business of A Step Up. So a lot of things that I do are behind the scene when we do in conferences, all the negotiating contracts, the logistical things, some of the administrative type thing to support her as she goes out front and does her thing. She's a phenomenal motivational speaker and trainer. And as I was sharing earlier that we were just featured on ESPN for the work that we've done with University of South Carolina. But also what they acknowledge that she's an attorney and represents over 30 coaches. And so there's a lot of things behind the scene that I'm doing so she can go out and do the things that she do. It's a partnership. And I think with respecting each other, one of the things that I do is I stay in my lane. I know what I'm good at and I know where she needs support. And I do those things that I'm good at and comfortable with so she can do the things that she's good at as well.
That's awesome. And it brings me to my second question. Johnny, since we're on you, as you guys know that we're going into a different direction in life, women are definitely stepping up to the plate. We have a vice president as a woman. So with that being said, Johnny, and we're going to start with you, and you said some things that you already use to support your wife. Give us a specific 2 tools that you can think about how you can best be a team player and engage and actively being involved to have that queen's back?
Well, the first thing, it starts with ego. I mean, you've got to understand that if you are a team, when I married her, we became one. And when she wins, I win. And so swallowing the ego and the pride that I don't have to make all the call the shots. We're operating in business. And because I can respect her and what she does professionally, when we're home, we remember we're home. We're not in a corporate arena at home. And I can be who I am and who God called me to be in our own home. And I think that balance becomes very important. Understand that you can be a CEO or a corporate exec, and you got to be able to find balance and be able to find a spirit of humbleness and be a servant leader to make that thing work.
Awesome. Thank you for your input, Vance. Same question.
I would say, just ask them, what is it that I can do to help you to grow? Right? At the end of the day, I need to know what it is that you need from me. I don't want to assume or guess. I've done that in the past and got, didn't work out as well as I had hoped. But so giving them that knowledge that I'm here to support you and your growth, that's the partnership aspect of a relationship, right? We're here to help each other out. And we're working together, right? So there shouldn't be, hopefully, any jealousy or insecurities or animosities, because as you grow, I'm growing as well, and vice versa. So, my biggest thing is if there's anything I can do to support you, let me know, because I, would hope that you would do the same for me. And at the end of the day, you just got to really be mindful of who you're with. If you really love them, if you care about them, then you want to see them succeed at the end of the day. So, that's my major thing, is really just understanding through communication, which is foundational to any relationship, is really understanding what that person needs and doing and making a conscious effort to make that happen.
Yeah, I love that. I love that what you and Johnny says. Daryl, can you give us some sight of what you think, how you can support?
Yes, when it comes to, teamwork, and I echo what, these gentlemen have already said, but I think also that it also requires a mutual understanding between the two. When we think about team as far as in a sports context, we might not have the same position, but because we're on the same team, we want the same outcome. We want to win, and so I need you at your best in your position. You need me at my best in my position. So we don't have to, if we understand we may have different positions, but we have the same purpose and the same goal in mind, then our differences actually become strengths to one another, and so my gift doesn't have to be the same as your gift, but our gifts together, give us a different advantage, and it gives us a different momentum moving forward. And I think I like what Vance said about growing together. I like what Johnny said about just letting our ego go and not compete with one another, but complete one another by being a team, and putting that effort together.
Yeah, I love that too. And I love how you incorporate sports. It's all, you can always count on the men to incorporate sports for illustration.
That's right.
So I thank you. Marvin, if you can give us some insight.
Yeah, I agree definitely with Johnny as well. Definitely with ego. I teach a lot of people that's around me, and my whole, my thing for ego is edging God out, and so what that is just having that camaraderie and just having that, you just let go, be childlike, hey, but women go through so many things in the world. Oh, you have to look good. You got to do this, you do that. And, and just, take some weight off of her. Make sure that you're that best friend and you're going to support her, whether it be personally or business. And, and also I love to let the women know that, no matter what nobody thinks and what they don't like about you, I'm here. I'm here to protect you. And I'm here to laugh, have fun with you, support you, study with you, whatever we need to do to walk forward in the vision or in the purpose. Because I think at this point right now, women they're in a good role, but they still need to know that they're protected, and and they can still be mentored, but they can also have that level of respect that we can be relatable. And you can make some decisions on the relationship or whatever we got going on in our lives. But I just think it's just about the communication again, and just letting her know that you're there no matter what.
Awesome, Marvin. And I like that because you led me right into my next question, and we can start right with you. What is your thoughts on gender role, men and women and their roles?
Well, for me, I would definitely like to look at women as to understand that, yes, I'm a man, but I like to say the word vulnerable because, like I said, again, a lot of men like to put a lot of things up front. And, I think that they really just let the woman know that, even though I'm a man, but this is what I do well. And this is what I don't do well, and, let's play it out. Let's see, who does what better. You better with budgeting, and as far as when it comes to our life, let's just make sure that we're on the same field, playing the same thing. Because I think that when it comes to the gender based, I think it comes with men, it's everything has pretty much been written in a man's standpoint. Like we have to be first, or this what comes from a man, or you have to respect. Well, I think it goes both ways. And God is no respecter of person. I don't look at gender based in God. So I have a lot to do because I do speak and teach spirituality. So you're going to hear me saying a lot of things based on that's where it comes from. But that's a good neutral point because, I treat a woman with just as much as respect if I would treat one of my mentors, because, I think that we definitely have to hold them just as accountable, and they hold us just as accountable. So I think it's a neutral place.
Okay, thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable in that space. Johnny, how do you define gender roles? Johnny, I can't. There you go.
I'm gonna back up a little bit and say that when we land in this place of adulthood and manhood, just as women land in that place of womanhood, how you were raised, whether there were men in your life, whether you were raised by a strong woman, whether you had to make your own way, how you handled the boardroom, probably being one of a few African-American females in the boardroom, with most of the time in corporate America predominantly white men. All of those play in how you negotiate life, and being able to find a balance between negotiating those environments, which eventually will impact your communication style. Being able to find balance in how you approach your home, approach being with a man. When you got two A-type personalities, it can be challenging. I think for me, as I have I've gotten wiser, hopefully, I don't sweat the small things. And there's some things that are just not worth dealing with. And other things in our marriage, major things, we make all major decisions together. And financially, we have a budget within our household, but she has her money, I have mine. Even when I'm spending mine or she's spending hers, we have a limit of what we'll do without consulting or informing the other person that what we do. So I believe is effective communication. It is a mutual respect, and knowing who you are married to is so important. They don't have to negotiate life the way you do, but you have to understand where they're coming from to be able to make that work together.
I like that, Johnny. I really do. I like that working together. You don't see that a lot. Darryl, how do you define the gender roles?
Yes, in working together, I guess I would encourage anyone to not let role be a restriction, because there are certain generations and people who are of the mindset that this is specifically for a man to do, this is specifically for a woman to do. And we understand that there are differences between the male and female experience. However, but when it comes to, as we're talking about building the bigger and bolder you and our women, don't let your role as a woman restrict you from just the possibilities, the giftings, the talents, the calling on your life. There's a place for all that to be expressed. And as these gentlemen are already saying, when you're connected with the right person, the right support, the right team, all these elements are going to help nurture that in you. So I think also we play an important role as men to help develop those characteristics and qualities in our daughters, our wives, our moms, and just women in general, because we carry the strength and the ability to do that. And so we use our gender as a way to be protective, to be educate, to be on the lookout, to help enhance the experience of our sisters and not hinder their growth or their development. And I think the gender roles shouldn't be defined by those earthly pursuits and those worldly pursuits. It should be, man be the man, woman be the woman. But like I said, we're coming together, we're a team. In some cases, we're a family. In some cases, we're partners in this business or this venture. And you have your role, I have my role, but all of us doing our part, and sometimes we will say staying in our lane helps us all achieve and not cross over into areas that can cause these lines to get blurred. And then that's when we see, confusion and disagreements and other things pop up because one's trying to do more or less than the other. Someone's trying to compensate for the lack of the other. And now they feel resentful because now I'm taking on somebody else's role. Now I feel, a little hurt about it because now I'm doing more than what I bargained for. I didn't sign up for this because now we're getting outside of our role. But don't let role be a restriction, and just continue to flourish into the gifting God has for you.
Yeah, I definitely love that, Darryl, because we do that sometimes. So I appreciate you. Vance, and you're up.
Yeah, so I would say, the roles are definitely shifting in terms of more women getting advanced degrees, graduating with doctorates, masters. You have more women in the C-suites these days than ever before, more business owners that are women. So for a man who is insecure, that could be an issue, right? Because I think, since the beginning of recorded time, it's always been about the man being the provider, right? They typically have been the ones that go out, make the money. Money equals power. So a man who is intimidated or maybe not secure in himself may look at that as, hey, if my role is being threatened, if the role is now she's the breadwinner and I'm not, then that's going to be an issue, right? So I think you have to really think about who you're with, have the conversation about what you guys are doing together. I think somebody mentioned that earlier. It really boils down to, I like to look at it like a business, right? There's a CEO of a business, but a CEO never operates on his or her own. He always or she always relies on their lieutenants to make decisions. So if you are in a situation where, let's say, the wife is now or the girlfriend's now making more money, then there's still a role for both of you in this household. You just got to really define who's going to do what and play to your strengths. And you got to take the ego out of it. So that can be hard for some men because, like I said, because times are changing. So I think it's really incumbent upon both parties to sit down, have the conversation, and make sure that everybody is on the same page. If you don't have that conversation, then it can lead to conflicts in the household. Especially, like I said, if the man is so used to being that dominant person in the relationship. But at the end of the day, I don't think any woman who is, in a position of power, who the role is, she's the breadwinner, would have a problem even with the man leading if he knows where he's going, right? Or if he's spiritually led and she's beside him, following him, or whatever, however you want to call it. It's just more about, hey, I got to be able to trust you, right? I got to be able to trust that you can handle your business at the house, and let me kind of pull back if I want to pull back, right? But I think, again, you got to have that conversation to make sure you guys are on the same page.
I love that, Vance. And as always, you guys just work me right into my next question. So I love it. So when dating or in a marriage, guys, how do you prefer to be communicated with from a boss queen? Vance, you can start.
Just simple communication. Let's talk. Let's have some conversations about, I know you're a boss at work. I know you're doing your thing, but let's leave work at work and let's deal with this home life because they are not necessarily the same. And we got together based on certain values that didn't necessarily build upon or relate to, your financial position or your status at work of being a boss. I just think we got to be careful there, right? We got to make sure that, like I said before, if you are doing that and I feel like I'm being emasculated or I don't have a purpose, because men love purpose, right? We love to be able to provide. If I don't feel like I can do that because you're too bossy or a boss, then I'm going to be like, why do you need me? What's my role in this thing? So for me, it's all about that communication. It's about saying, hey, I know this person right here is doing their thing, but I'm still leading. I'm still in a situation where we're having good conversations and you're not trying to tell me and boss me at home like you are with your people at work. That's where the problem gets in. So I'm all about the communication. I'm all about supporting the boss moves and about growing. But at the end of the day, we got a family. This is personal, right? This is something bigger than work. It's about our love for each other and how do we work together to make this family grow.
Awesome. Thanks, Vance. Johnny, you kind of shared some of it already about how you support your wife, but I want to hear a little bit more.
Okay. When we talk about how do I want a boss queen to communicate, again, it starts with personality and knowing who you're married to. A part of it is understanding the journey. So communication becomes important. Just like in your role, you own several businesses. You've had nobody gave you anything. You had to work hard for it, and that you develop a communication style. And for understanding communication style becomes important because there's some communication style is based on power. The whole mindset or psychology behind it is power. Some is peace. Another is fun. Other one is understanding or intimacy. So understanding the communication style becomes important because she may say something one way that could sound aggressive, but it might be her style of communicating. And in fact, mine is more of peace and understanding. My wife is more of power and passion. And so knowing that how she says things doesn't necessarily is not critical, condescending, or downplaying, is her communication style. So knowing who you're married to is one. And then the other, I would say, is being able to have a process of resolving issues in which they're going to arrive in every relationship, having a process of how you resolve issues, and then having, like with us in our marriage, we try to make all major decisions together. If we're not in agreement, we may not make one. If one have to be made and we're not on the same page, we're in agreement that I'll make it. And that's an understanding. I don't say that's control. She gives me that authority to do that, because what she knows, what she does is trust who I am and that I'm going to do it in the best interest. And we don't see it the same way, but we got to do something now. There are a few cases like that, but for the most part, we want to be in agreement with how we do it.
I love it, Johnny. It's saying work together and we all equal. There's no one higher than the other. We are as a team. So I really love that. Marvin.
Yeah, I mean, definitely having a female boss, a woman, your partner. I just always think about the communication. Again, I'm definitely with Vance on that. Just letting the man know and understand, hey, I'm the boss over there, but you're the boss here. And it's the communication, not to come off and, try to be, coy, but you both know what roles you bring to the table. And, a woman just being a little bit more, just understanding the sensitivity of what a man brings to the table, his value, and make him feel like the king at the same time. It's not about wearing different hats. It's just about being under the same roof and being able to communicate and knowing each other's perspective and the different language. And I call it love language. You always got to, you got to have that love language in it. You can't get dressed up with the outside world and bring the outside world into your love life, or where your partner is, where they want to be loved and where they want to be confided and be protected. That's two different worlds. And sometimes it does come, it sort of coincides in some areas, but you got to know how to separate that and respect one another. So again, I'm just big on the communication and respecting one another.
Awesome. Thank you, Marvin. And Daryl, if you can answer the same question.
Yes, I think in general, men just prefer to be communicated to in a respectful way. And in a way that doesn't allow them to feel demeaned or threatened. And then they can also respond back in a respectful way. But also part of your question included dating. And, and I would encourage, when you're in those phases of building a relationship, to be careful about falling in love with first impressions. Because you haven't had the time to see the true character, meet the true person. We can all be on best behavior for outing, but when it's time to build a relationship, you want to take the time to actually develop an authentic friendship with that person. And so if the relationship is built on that friendship first, then what you all do professionally is going to be a complement to that. And then you'll find that middle ground. You'll find that place where even if you're in two totally separate fields of expertise, you have something that draws you together, which is founded on a friendship and on a relationship level first. And so then all of the boss elements and all of the professional elements have a different place, or you see it, you can treat it with a different, through a lens, and you see it through a different perspective, because my relating to you is on a relational level, on a personal level, not on the corporate side of things. And so I would encourage just anyone, don't be fooled by first impressions. Take time to build a friendship, build a relationship, and then you can see and know what and who you're committing to before those other things come to the surface.
I appreciate that, Dal. Basically, you need to understand your representative and make sure whoever is representing you, right? I love that.
Can I add something too?
I did. Go ahead, Vance.
Can I add something too?
You can, yes.
Yeah, so I talk to a lot of women, and majority of them that I talk to, they don't want to be bosses at home, right? They want to, do their thing at work or business, and they want to come home and have peace. But sometimes they feel like they can't because the man is not stepping up into that role, right? So again, that's where communication comes in, but there has to be balance, right? Balance is key, because if you are a boss at home and you feel like you have to be a boss at work, that's going to cause stress, right? Where's your outlet? How do you relax? How do you find that balance so you're not just mentally draining yourself, just overdoing yourself? So, both from a relationship perspective, if you're in a relationship or if you're dating, especially as men, a lot of times you have to show, right? So if I'm just getting to know you, I don't know what your character is, but if you are in a leadership position, or you want to be, and you're doing those things, then now as a female, I can say, okay, yeah, I trust what he's saying because he's also doing it. So I think that plays a big part too in just kind of being a boss and the roles things here as well. So I just wanted to add that just based on some conversations that I've had too.
No, I love it. I love it. And if anybody else want to add on anything before we go into our last question, feel free to do so really quick.
I'll be really brief. And because part of what we're talking about is ideal situations. Sometimes we push buttons unknowingly, and those buttons, because we've been around the block a few times, and those buttons tap into the baggage of unresolved issues, or what happened the last time a guy said this, and the last time a woman. Those type situations spawn a whole nother dynamic, and just can be very challenging when back on the boss lady, when the last guy she dated let her down, and so now she's in a relationship where a guy wants to assume that a leadership role, or what we call a traditional male role, then there's friction because they're operating with past experience versus the new experience. So those kind of things can be very, very challenging. We've got to, so long story short is we need to be able to resolve issues, not only in our relationships, issues within our own self and concepts within our own self that might lead us to think, well, I really didn't say that negatively. Oh yeah, you said it that way. And then, so that's all I'll say about that.
I love it, Johnny. I heard what you said, that, women definitely need to do some healing on the inside when they come in out to some relationships, and make sure they don't bring that baggage to the new relationship. I definitely appreciate that thought. And it ties in with our last question. So as you guys know, we as women are graduating more from colleges. We're becoming the CEOs and taking higher position at boards, being on boards and different things. And as Black women, especially, we have to work extra hard in those roles. How do you men feel knowing that we have to go so hard to even get ourselves positioned the way we like to get positioned in business? And so Marvin, if you want to start by answering that question first, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at our country. I mean, it's like the changing of the guards. You have, a guy that was, and Donald Trump. I mean, he played his role as, the alpha male billionaire, and now we have a Afro American queen more so, and she's in this role, and it's a change. It's a change is what's going on, and so I feel that moving forward, we just got to start interacting with the mindset and knowing you can't go in with this old information to this new information. Everything is always changing. We're not the same people we were 2 years ago, and so we get caught up on oh, that's the way I used to be, or that's the way my husband is. But we always have to be in concert of evolving as people so we can grow together and see the world is changing, and we need to be able to change and be in rhythm. And I think that's for the end result for women that have go through so much, and seeing via my mom and seeing a lot of Black women what they've had to endure. I think just us as men, we just need to make sure that we're just honoring that. We all have seen a mother or a sister. And so when we come and have our partner and seeing what they had to go through to get that position, I think that we need to honor that and make sure that they're in a peaceful mindset. And when they come home, they're coming home to some love and not a duality, and then something that makes sense to them and something they can really feel proud of and know that their man is honoring them and is behind them. It's just support.
Awesome. Thank you, Marvin. And Dow, if any, does it impact you mentally or emotionally knowing that we have to do things a little different than others?
No, I think as far as when we're talking about, that transition for women, this is a time where you're transitioning from being forced to now being free, so some of the areas in which women had to step up is because they were forced to. They were going to make a way for these kids to eat. There's going to make a way for these kids to go to school. There's going to make a way to break out of these certain situations if you've been victimized and other things. And you were kind of forced to step up because you had to survive, to now transitioning to where you're free to step up because the opportunities are there. You're free to step up because you have a dream, you have a vision, you have a goal. And so the times have shifted to accommodate that freedom so women can pursue these things emotionally. For me, I support it. I'm raising a daughter, and I'm teaching her to go for everything that's available to be the best in school, to be the brightest, to use her gifts and her talents, and she is on her way, for real. I mean, she's already positioned to when she graduates high school, she'll also be graduating with an AA because she's in those programs, and so we're allowing those things to be nurtured in her, so that she'll be well balanced and well prepared for whatever her future is going to be, and we're giving her those tools now. So I think it's a good place for us to. We've talked, before about, if a man is insecure, it's going to be one way. But for us kings, talking to you all today, we salute you and we support you. And we're cheering for you and pushing you forward to be the bigger, bolder you that you are. And so we're glad to be a part of your development just in this panel discussion.
Yes, awesome, Dow. And thank you for raising a bigger, bolder queen already. I love that. Johnny, if any, mentally or emotionally, how does that impact you knowing that us as African-American queens have to work extra harder? You're on mute.
I'm a conspiracy theorist anyway, so I see Willie Lynch written on a whole lot of things. I know that's a sideways comment for you guys, but if you look at what's going on and see how Black women have been elevated, I think part of that is that Black women have worked hard. They've gone the extra mile. They've been shakers and movers, but they also serve a double minority when you look at this diversity thing in corporate America. Keisha Lance Bottoms, I don't know, she's married, Stacey Abrams, and then Vice President, all have husbands. And you've got to be able to celebrate that journey with them. And as a man, you've got to be able to support the time and the grind that it takes to get there. And so for me, I'm very conscious I know how my wife walks when there's something going on. I know how she walks. I know her gestures and those things that when she's had a tough day, many times she don't have to say it. I mean, she will, but sometimes she don't even have to say it, man. That was a tough call. And so being able to do things assertively, to let her know that I love her, let her know that I support her and that I'm there for her. And then be non-judgmental when some things that might bother her that doesn't bother me. Those are ways that I can support, being understanding and empathizing with what she may be going to, and then celebrating her when she accomplished some things. She was just recently named to the top 100 influential Blacks in America by Core magazine. And we celebrate all of those victories. And that didn't come because somebody gave it to her. She grind and work hard. That means I miss some dinners. That means I miss some quality time. But I understand the grind and understand the journey. And so I don't make those things issues.
Johnny, I appreciate that you supporting us Queens. And I love the fact that you said that y'all hearts are aligned and it beats as a unity. So thank you for sharing that. Vance?
Yeah, and I would just add, we as a people have had to struggle, whether it's Black men or women, right? So we are used to this. We are used to having to work harder, having to grind harder. If a woman comes to me and she wants to be a boss and grow a career, I'm gonna give her the same tough love that I would give a man. Like, you got to put the work in, right? You got to focus on what you can control. That's your attitude and your effort, and make it happen, because nobody's going to give you anything. You're already a minority. You're already at the bottom, right? So you only have to go up, but you got to work for it. Just like I said, we've been in this situation for a while, and it's not going to come easy. But I think if you have a good foundation, if you have a good network in place, then it'll work for you. It's just how bad you want it to work, right? Because it's so competitive in this world. You're competing with a whole bunch of different people globally now. So you have to stand out, and you really got to make sure you understand how to network, and really understand what it is that you're trying to go after, and be passionate about it. So, I'm going to support my queens in any way that I can. But at the same time, if you want it, then I'm going to give it to you, but you won't work for it, and we're going to laugh, we're going to joke, we'll have a good time. But at the end of the day, I'm pushing you, I'm coaching you, I'm helping you to grow, because that's what if you ask me to do that, that's what I'm going to do. Or if it's my wife or girlfriend, yeah, I'm naturally going to do that. So let's do this together. We're in this together.
I love that, Vance. Accountability partner. You have somebody that's right there standing by you and helping you. That is amazing. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful night. And before we close out at this Bigger Bolder You conference, global conference, if you guys each would give us one word to leave with our queens to motivate them. Vance, we'll start with you.
Live on purpose.
I love it. Johnny.
Follow God.
Love it. Marvin.
Protection. Purposeful living.
Love it. Daryl.
Inspire, influence, and impact everywhere you go.
I love it. And guys, I thank you so much. I pray nothing but health and prosperity over your lives. And thank you for being here to bless our queens. Until next time, see you guys later.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a wonderful day.
Hello and welcome back to the Bigger Bolder You Global Conference. Last night, I had an amazing time sharing with you who I am. Who is Elisha Brooks? And you've heard from amazing women, and you've allowed us to come into your presence. And I'm grateful for that. Tonight, you heard from some amazing ladies and a panel discussion on how we show up. And it's so imperative of how we show up, regardless of our bad mistakes, bad choices, decisions, the trauma, the trials, the tribulations we've gone through. We have shown up in a way that sometimes did not serve us. I know it didn't serve me. And so tonight, whenever you're watching this, I want to show you how I went through the process and looking at my story and taking that and building my personal brand. And I call this my Brandique Brilliance. And so building your Brandique Brilliance, what does that look like for you? And I'm going to go into detail of just a little bit about how I developed mine and how I was able to turn my life, my story, my thoughts, my mindset, and my personal brand to match who I am. Totally, authentically me, and owning that. And so I know that a lot of times we see a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of amazing things. Yes, they do. And we've all, and you might not be included, I'm going to include myself, of really spending time, too much time before, where I would look at Instagram, I would look at Facebook, I would look at other women doing their thing. And I was like, I need to get there. I need to be there. But I was always comparing myself. That imposter syndrome is real. I know for me, I cannot speak. I know I'm going to say that all the time. I cannot speak for anyone except for me. Okay. So when I knew that something had to change, it was, okay, Alicia, you do personal brand development. You talk to women and men on building their personal brands. And you take them from where they were to where they are now to where they want to go. And so I had to do that process with myself first, because I knew that if I didn't go through the process, I couldn't take anyone else through it. And so that meant a whole lot to me. And I truly, truly, truly crafted this thing where I know that what I put together, my whole Brandique brand blueprint, my true personality test, my trials, I've incorporated all of this together because I know I'm not the only one. And I struggled so much with how I wanted to truly show up in the world, how I wanted to be in the world, how I wanted to live in the world, how I wanted other people to see me. And I didn't want people to see the old Alicia, although the old Alicia is a part of my story. And so I have created this Brandique blueprint that I take everyone through for your personal brand and your business brand. But today I'm only going to give you the personal brand side because that's more important. Because if you don't know who you are, the world will definitely tell you who you are. And we do not want that. We want to own our brand. We want to make sure that we control the narrative. And if we don't control the narrative, if we don't take our voice off of mute so that we can say and speak and verbalize who we are and how we want to be seen and how we want to be treated, then you're going to let somebody else do it for you. And so this is why I'm so big on building your personal brand from the core of who you are. Now, I can tell you from the core who I was, as you heard last night, was not always in a good place. But I can tell you, doing the work and building who you are and your confidence and your self-esteem, that is going to sustain you. And I know how that is. So that's why I'm here to help you, how I'm here to serve you, how I'm here to empower you, how I'm here to engage you, how I'm here to equip you to make this happen. All right. So don't get discouraged, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. I can't go through everything in this whole entire conference, but I do want to give you some insight, because insight is where you make your whole awareness come from. It's like you give them insight and you can really look at their mindset and see where you want to go. How do you want to show up? And so if I give you some insight and some good nuggets, I want you to tag me, post it, whatever, so that you will not forget it. I know that you will remember things if you write it down, for one, and for two, you put it out there so the world can see it. And so I encourage you to get a pen and paper, your notepad, your journal, whatever you want to write on. And let's get started, because I don't want to be before you that long, but I do want to give you some wisdom and my heart. All right. So the first thing I want to tell you is change what you believe about yourself so that you can change what the world believes and sees about you. I'll say that again. Change what you believe about you. That means the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, your brilliance, your awesomeness. Change what you believe about yourself so you can change what the world believes about you. It's not until you change how you feel, how you love on you, how you believe in you, how you bet on you every day, until you change your mindset about who you are at your very core. It will be hard to change the world and how they see you, because that's how you're going to show up. What's in your core, who you are at your very core, is what is going to show up. And so I want to make sure you are defining your own personal brand. You are defining your own destiny, and you're not allowing the world to tell you what that is. Okay, so I can tell you now that you are your personal brand. How you show up in the world matters. How you see yourself matters. You wear your brand every single day, regardless if you are on the job, you're in your business, you're with girlfriends, you're at a networking event. Who you are at your very core, you wear that every single day. So I encourage you to wear that well, honey. All right, so who are you? Who are you at your core? What really moves you? What empowers you? And I always say, what gets you up out the bed that makes you pop up like toast every day because you get to do something? What makes you angry, mad, sad? Who do you like to hang out with? Okay, because these are the things that we need to answer, amongst other things, so that we can get to the core of who you are, and so that we can use that to be the foundation of how we build your brand. Now, for me, I can tell you, on the inside, it was messed up, truly. And that's why I found myself shrinking back. But I knew at the core of who I was somebody who is of positive vibes, positive energy, of love for everyone, no matter what color you are, no matter are you a man or woman, transgender, whatever, it doesn't matter. The core of who I am truly loves someone's soul. I love their spirit. I love who they are as a human being and as a person, because that is my connection with everyone. Okay, so that's who I am on the inside. And so I encourage you to take some time to really look at who are you on the inside? And what's going to make you, or what is holding you back? What's making you shrink back into being scared, into being someone that you don't even show up because of whatever it is you're telling yourself and what the world has told you. And so defining who you are, knowing what your why is, your why should make you ecstatic. It should make you elated about what you get to do. Your why should be something big, something bold, all right? And so your why is why you keep going when things are hard, why you keep doing the research, why you keep looking at this, why you keep doing, talking to people about this. What is your why? For me, my why is truly to leave, one, a legacy for my family, my grandchildren and children I have not gotten yet. I want to leave generational wealth for them. I don't want to leave and transition this from this earth to leaving debt. And I want them to know that mom and grandma and great grandma, you know, whenever I do have them, she did something. She meant something. She was a light in the world. And I want to leave that for them. And number two, my other big why is I know what it's like not to have anyone but you. I know it's like to have people treat you as familiar with you and they don't even pay you your worth. They try to nickel and dime you for everything because they don't see the value. And so I know how that's like. And so I want to leave a legacy where I'm funding women's businesses, their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. I'm funding their businesses, the ones who the world has counted out. Their families have counted them out. Their friends have left them. Their husbands, whomever, it's them and them alone. And no one believed in them. I want to fund your dreams. That is my heart. That's my legacy. So that's my big why. Not to mention to transform lives all over the globe. If I can do that, I am amazingly grateful because that's my why. That's what I get up excited to do. All right. And so I want you to find what your true big why is. And I always say, dream big and watch God top it. Watch him top it. I get it. Like, I'm ecstatic just being here. All the stuff I've gone through. I'm like, why? My why is my story. My why is built up into who I am and where I want to go. So you have to get totally clear on this because that is what's going to fuel you every day. Every day. Okay. So look at your why. Now, what do you think your personal brand is and what it's not? What is your personal brand? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to be seen? How do you want people to value you? That goes to knowing your purpose. That means having your voice off mute. That means walking in your power every day and owning your power. Now, what it is not is when you allow other people to control and define who you are. What it is not when you allow your reputation to get muted. I'm going to say that, to get muted because you're allowing other people to tell you how to show up, tell you what to do. I had one of my marriages, where he would tell me what to wear. He would tell me what to wear. He would tell me how to wear my hair. It was a control thing. And I knew then that I could not allow anyone to control me, control my destiny. I had to make that choice. And so I had to get back my superpower. And my superpower is all of me walking in everything God has for me. Period, point blank. And so you have to find out what your purpose is, your voice. What do you want to put out into the world? And what's your superpower that no one can take away from you? No one can say, oh, I can do that too. But they probably can, but they can't do it like you. They can't bring your personality with it, because you have to be authentic, original. We're one of a kind. No one can truly duplicate us. Absolutely not. They can try and they can get really close, but they cannot duplicate who you are, because we are all different in our own right, in our own mind. Okay? And so when I had to look at, I don't know why when I had to look at me and I did the work to get to where I am and how I wanted to show up. I told you yesterday, all the things I've gone through, it's fueled into my why and my personal brand and my personality and how I choose, how I make a decision, how I control me, my thoughts, and yes, my personal brand. Okay. So looking at how I differentiated from everyone else, there's a lot of noise out here in the world, but how have I walked into my own power? I had to look and see how that originated. All right. And I looked at who I was, what I really, really enjoy doing, because all my degrees are in marketing. I written a book called Branding the Authentic You. And I looked at who I wanted to become, how I wanted to show up, and how am I going to differentiate myself from everyone else who may be in the same industry. We cannot get sidetracked by what other people are doing in our industry, because we can get off kilter. We can go down another road, which we did not intend to do. And when you own your brand, you own your personal brand essence of who you are, you're not taking bits and pieces of other people's brands. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself being bits and pieces of everybody else and not your authentic, brand unique, original self that the world needs. Those who are called to you, they need you to truly show up as who you are. Okay. And so when we look at that, I had to say, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? Who wants to listen to me? I had to get totally clear. And you have to too, because when we get ready to shine, you don't want to have those naysayers to win. You don't want to have those people who are haters, the judgmental people. You don't want them to dull your shine, because they will try. And trust me, they will come. So you have to get your mind right, and you have to get established in your mindset and know how you truly want to stand out. Now, it's not going to be easy because I didn't know how I wanted to do it, because I went from marketing to advertising to branding to personal development to leadership, like all of that. I love it all. Even event planning. I love event planning. Was my first business. But I learned I had to take all of those things that I absolutely love and compile it to one major thing that I would love to do every single day. Okay. And so now it's looking at your self-esteem. I had to work on my self-esteem, ladies and gentlemen. I truly had to work on who I was and how I wanted to show up. I told you that story last night because your personal brand is truly about your confidence and your self-esteem. You can only go as high as your confidence and your self-esteem allows you to. So if you continue to shrink back, how far are you going to go? Where are you going to go? How long is it going to take you to get there? So I had to work on my self-esteem. I had to do my own affirmations. I had to look in the mirror and do the mirror work. I had to look and journal and write down all the things that made me happy. And I did those things. That is what building the foundation for your personal brand is about. It is about your personality. What is your personality like? Your personality is how people are going to be attracted to you. That's how people are going to say, oh, yeah, I connect with her. I love her vibe. Like she's, awesome. She's fly, whatever you're going after. What is your personality? Whatever it is, make it bold, make it positive so that people are leaving your presence with empowerment. You're leaving their presence and their heart, their spirit, their minds are intact because you didn't kill their spirit. You didn't walk over them. You didn't value them. You don't ever want to do that. And so that's what my brand is really about. And so my personality is fun. It's happy. It's positive vibes all the time. 95% of the time, I am the same way. Do I get off kilter? Absolutely. Do I panic sometimes? Yeah, but I'm working on that. Do I absolutely love who I am now? Heck yeah, right? Because I did the work. And the work not only meant looking at my personality, it was looking at my character. How am I showing up? Do I have integrity? Do I value myself and others? Do I value what I do? Value is a key thing, okay? Because you have to value you in order for you to put a price tag to what you are going to offer, to what you're going to provide. How you value you tells me how you will show up in the world and getting paid your worth, doing what you love. Your value matters. It truly matters. So your personality, your character, your value, your vision and mission, which I mentioned goes back to your why. Why are you doing what you do? And then creating an epic experience. So when people engage with you, whether you are at home, whether you are at work, whether you are with your girlfriends or you're networking or wherever, you are creating for your business, okay, an epic experience for them. You're creating, is it going to be the same all the time? No, probably not, depending on what industry you're in and what services you provide. But creating an epic experience that they can walk away feeling it transformed, where they can walk away feeling like, oh, I got that. Like you changed something about them. You create an experience that they can never forget. We are, yes, still in a pandemic, right? And so how are you going to create an experience, even virtually, for people? What can you do differently than the next? So looking at how all of these things connect to who you are and how you want to show up. because that is how you're going to develop your personal brand. That's how you're going to shine. That's how you're going to be recognized and known. So, looking at who you are emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all this goes into your personal brand. All of this shapes who you are. That's why we have to check who we are, who we were, and where we want to go. Because if we don't, that can spill over into how we show up character-wise and our value and creating the whole experience. So it's not just about how you see you, it's about how the world perceives you. It's about how you can create an experience that they will never forget. I don't know about you, but I would love to pay for an experience. But my experience, and coupled with my personality, coupled with the knowledge and the wisdom, coupled with the empowerment and the engagement, that's what it's all about. So showing up based on how you can control, how you can create this whole thing around how you, I keep referencing that because it matters to you, how you show up. The whole world can see you, but it's how you want to show up. And I'm saying that because it took a long time. And I mentioned it yesterday. It took a long time to get to where I am. People told me I was 20%. I was only functioning at 20% of my potential. So it's not an overnight thing. This is a process. And until you go through the process, the better. Okay? So I want to take you through my four, I can't think now, my four key things in terms for me building your brand. Now, I'm only giving a high level for this because I believe that, you know, I'm big on education and I can't teach this all in an hour or hour and a half, whatever it is. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving you enough so that you know that, oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. I got to do that. Okay. So my tagline is be and live your brand. I'm always talking about being. We are beings. We are being every day. We are becoming, not to mention, it is my initials backwards. So you always hear me talk about be and becoming. So, because I believe we're always evolving, we're always doing and being in the world. And so I created a template, my design for my blueprint around the word live. And live starts with L, which means your lifestyle. And it's about who you are. It's your personal message. It's how you show up. It's how you dress. It's who you hang around. It's the perception that you see yourself in the world as. It can, some people equate that to, you know, materialistic things. Life is more than materialistic things. You have to get to a deeper sense of self, because if you don't, I'm not saying nice things are a bad thing. I like nice things. I'm not materialistic. And so you can tell people's lifestyles from how they show up in the world. So what does that say about you? What is the perception you are putting out there? And so that goes back to, you know, you have some people who are all about name brand. I got to have the latest this. I got to have the expensive this, all the name brand stuff. Then you have some people who, you know, can care less. I think for me, and I can say this all the time, Do I like nice things? Absolutely. Will I go broke trying to get those nice things? No. To impress who? Mm-mm. My worth and value comes from empowering you. That's where I get my happy place. That's what brings me joy. I'm not saying I don't like nice things, nice cars or whatever, but I'm not going to go broke. That stuff won't last. I can buy whatever purse I want, whatever. I won't even be carrying it next year. That's a waste for me. It's my mindset. That's just my mindset. I'd rather put it in stocks and investments and all that stuff before I go and do all that. But that's just who I am. And so that's why I say your lifestyle matters, because when you're creating and you're walking in that lifestyle, you're going to have to price your worth because you have to keep up with that lifestyle. And if you have a warped mindset that is not going to afford you that lifestyle, then we're going to have a reality check. I'm real about this because I'm big on you winning in life. I'm big on you walking in your purpose, not leaving this earth full of what you're supposed to be doing. I want you to leave this earth empty because you got to do it. You get to do it. It made you happy. That is the biggest thing. All right. And so lifestyle. The next one is I talked last night about the inner critic. Well, the I is your inner power. The I is your mindset, because mindset is everything. If you have a scarcity mindset, where's that going to get you? You have to transform your mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset to take you where you're going, how are you going to get there? Your emotional intelligence. How are you emotionally? How are you connecting with people? How are you interacting and engaging with others? So your emotional intelligence has to be, you got to work on that too. Your awareness of your energy and vibration. What energy are you putting out there? I told you, I cannot stand being around negative people. Literally, my body hurts because I am an empath and I pick up on people's energy. And I remember one time there was this woman that I truly picked up her energy, and we were in Panera Bread. And I had two women who tried to take my business from me because of where they saw me literally take my business from me, like calling the Secretary of State to transfer my name to theirs, like craziness, right? So picking up on energy, we were in Panera Bread, and I literally, my body started hurting. I started sweating. I felt like I wanted to throw up, and I started coughing. And when I get hot, I literally had the fan because I will start coughing and I can't stop. So I pick up on people's energy, and you have to be aware of what energy you're putting out there, because how you show up before you even get there, you know how it is. Our reputation, our energy, our character precedes us. I hear it all the time. Oh, her energy is negative. Her attitude stinks. Like, you don't want that, all right? You don't want that. You don't want people to think that and equate that with your brand. So you have to look at how your energy is your character, your core values, your self-esteem. All of this is your inner power, your beliefs about who you are, your values. What are your core values that you live by, that you will not compromise on? What have you learned in terms of your strengths and your weaknesses? We all have them. We don't have to really keep on looking at pointing to our weaknesses. We can develop them, but we need to concentrate on our strengths and build those and keep doing that. All right. So our inner power is so key. The next one is V for vitality. I love vitality because vitality is your personality. It's how do you attract people to you? Are you fun? Are you engaging? Do you like to laugh? Do you like to smile? Do you like to attract the right people? Vitality is like you have a life, okay? It's like you're excited about what you get to do. It's contagious. And when you have vitality, it's easy to open up and grow. It's easy to want to look at what you are offering. How are you serving other people? How are you creating new experiences? And how are you going to live a bigger, bolder, best version of you? Totally uniquely you and authentically you. So it's your energy, it's your tenacity, it's having a playful mindset. You know, when the C word, cancer, a lot of times we've seen it. I don't know if you've watched several documentaries, including The Secret. You can heal yourself from your DNA, from the laughter, from how you think and feel. So, are you playful? Are you energetic? Or are you Debbie Downer, Miss Negative, always thinking the world is against you? Woe, it's me. That will not get you far. So you have to have a playful mindset. You gotta get out and have fun. Now, I'm a workaholic. I truly am a workaholic. I probably will be even when I do get married again. That's why I say I want my husband to truly have his vision too. I'm attracted to visionaries. I'm attracted to men who have goals and dreams and are doing it just like I am. Because I know my personality. I like to have fun, but I'm going to do it after I get some work done. And so having fun for me is hanging out with girlfriends, hanging out with my family, watching movies, you know, just sitting and chilling because I have to do that to break up my day. And so how does that play into the bigger, best version of you? Ask yourself that. Are you having fun? Are you living life to your fullest? Are you looking at all the opportunities that you can win? Are you looking at yourself and saying, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I can have that. And imagine your life where you want it to be. Visualize your life where you want it to be every day. You have to manifest that. You have to look at how you want to show up and how are you going to have fun. Look for ways to have fun and laugh every day. You can go to YouTube and look at funny videos. You can go to Instagram or the Reels or wherever and find funny videos to laugh every day. Find something to laugh at every day. Because the more we laugh, the more we bring joy into our lives. Joy truly comes from the inside. I'd rather have joy than happiness. Happiness is based on what's happening. If nothing's happening, or if no one's making me happy, what is that? Joy comes from the inside. Having a joyful, playful heart. That is all about intertwining your personality, your inner power, your lifestyle into your personal brand so that you can be authentic and be Brannique and live life to the fullest. We have problems, absolutely. Do we have bills? Absolutely. Bills aren't going anywhere. As long as you live, you're going to have some bills, okay? If we choose to allow the small things to get us down. I was once that person. Worry all the time. My son would get on the plane. I'm like, you need to call me before you go on that, get on that plane, before you take off, and when you land. I don't care how old you are, right? I was a worry wart. Now I've let that go. I've allowed myself to live. What happens will happen, but I pray over him every day. I pray over my daughter-in-law every day, my family every day. But I stopped myself from worrying. I stopped myself from worrying about what people think about me. I stopped myself from worrying about family not supporting, friends not supporting your business, my business. I'm over that, right? So worrying got me nowhere. It got me where my body hurt and I would get migraines. So no, stop what you're doing that's making you shrink back. Whew. I hope I'm helping you all, okay? So my E for live is the external influence. This one is kind of like near and dear to my heart because it's the image, your image you put out there. It's how you are showing up and positioning yourself to win. Now, I can say there are some beautiful, gorgeous women in the world. And a lot of times we see gorgeous and we equate them with models, Instagram models, influencers, what do they call them? The bottle girls, whatever they are at the clubs, the women in the videos, you know, we equate that and we compare our self-esteem and we compare our lives, our bodies, how we look to those ladies. And you have to believe you're beautiful regardless because it comes from the inside out. And so if you believe that you have a beautiful spirit and you are manifesting all in who you are, the best version of yourself, that leads to your image. What do you want to put out there? How do you want to position yourself? How do you want people to view you? If you are a corporate CEO or your own business CEO, your image matters because you set the tone for your company culture, how people see you, how they view you, how they will either buy from you, your mindset, your behaviors, your network, your friends, who you hang out with, all matters. This is your external influence. We talked about the internal, but your external influence matters too. You know about the 5 closest friends you have in your family or you have in your life, who you talk to every day. I don't talk to people every day. I have, outside of my family and my favorites, I talk to I have like 10 people. And that's probably too many, according to my son. But I don't have everybody in my life. I don't have to talk to everybody. And last year I made a decision I'm about to get this done. I had to cut and shut down everything that was not walking with me into my next. And so I had to look at who were the people in my life that are in my ear, that's giving me information, that's giving me feedback that I value, and how am I seeing myself? And so I cut a lot of people off. Well, God cut a lot of people off because I asked for that to happen. And when I looked at my network, I was looking at the takers, those people who just wanted to get what they can or get on the bandwagon so that they can shine. You know, you get to see a lot of people, their motives behind what you are doing. I consider myself an eagle. And eagles don't necessarily hang with chickens, right? When you decide where you're going and you get totally committed to who you are, you have done the work, you're doing the work, you're going to commit to saying yes to your purpose and taking your purpose off a pause and your voice off mute. When you get totally committed to yourself, this is when you will see who is for you, who is not for you. What do people really want from you? Who are those people who really want you to win? Who are those people who really support you? You want to have positive people around you, because I can tell you things aren't always peachy clean. I mean, like, things happen, life happens, and you have to see who is in your ear. Everyone does not deserve to have a front row seat in your life, and they don't have to be in your ear. So your influence, your external influence matters. Be strategic, be intentional about who you allow to speak into your ear. Because when people get into your ear and they have influence over you, it could be good, it could be bad. I've seen it all kinds of ways. So I want you to be intentional about who you have in your ear. And it's okay if you have one or two. One or two good ones is better than having 4, 5, 6 that you can't even count on. So it's okay if you have one. The right people will show up. The right people will show up. I promise you that. The right people will show up. So I want you to look at how are you going to communicate this to other people in your style, in your dress, in your messaging. How you communicate this matters. What platforms do you want to be on? How do you want to be on them? All right. And so you don't have to be on every platform. You don't have to do everything that everybody else is doing. You do what you do, where you can have the most influence. That's going to sit well with your spirit. It's going to sit well with your energy. That's going to attract the right people. That is the foundation of building your personal Branique brand. And when you do this, all of it will either hurt you, bring you down, or take you up higher. It's all about your mindset. It's how you see you first. That's the biggest thing first. Having confidence, having the know-how, the skill set, the knowledge, the influence, the wisdom, the passion for what you do, the love for what you do. the way you engage with your clients. All of that matters. All of that truly matters. And so when you take all of that, the first layer of things, this process is not easy, but I guarantee you it's so worth it. It's so worth it because you matter. You matter. The world is waiting on you. So you have to make a decision as to how you want your personal brand to show up in the world. And a lot of times people think a personal brand or your brand is about pretty colors and, the fonts and all. Yes, that's a part of it. But the foundation starts with you. Especially if you want to own your own business, especially if you want to be a speaker, especially if whatever you want to do, the foundation starts with you. And so if the foundation of you is not right for where you want to go, you have to commit to doing the work. And there's nothing wrong with doing the work. It doesn't tell you it's going to take forever. No, it's not. That's determined based on you, how you see yourself and how far you want to go. But how long is it going to take you to get there? If you keep starting and stopping, quitting on you, starting and stopping, quitting on you again, not keeping your word, not staying committed and betting on you every day, it can take longer. So that's the foundation of me building my personal brand, building my network, building my value, my net worth. That's what all this is about. And until you have that together, building up and wide depends on the foundation of you. So I hope and pray that you got something out of this, because it's only the tip of the iceberg, but it's a necessary foundational piece in order to go to the next level, in order for you to go higher and to live and to be your biggest and boldest version of you. Like I said, this is the year of you. How you show up, how you do what you do, all falls on you. So I leave you with that. Now, again, if you have received any nuggets, any gems, any jewels, please post them and tag me, because I want to see what you are saying. A lot of this work will be done in the groups because it's necessary. If this is the year of the woman, if this is the year of you, is this the decade, if the time is for women, you got to get the foundation right. As a businesswoman, as a corporate professional, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a business partner, whatever, you got to get the foundational personal brand right. That's just the case. So I am grateful, glad that we spent some time together. And I want you to stay connected, get involved with me, whether it's in the Facebook group, whether you work with me or not, whether you decide to follow me or not. I want the best for you. I want you to win. And that is my sincere, truthful desire. Until next time, go be and live your brand, walking in the biggest and best and boldest version of you every single day. And don't forget to bet on you first. Mwah. Hello, amazings. It's Alicia Brooks here to give you an opportunity to work with me. I have been working with amazing clients for over 25 years, one-on-one, which I know is kind of like sort of held me back. But I have shifted my business model to one-to-many so that I can transform and do life together with more amazing women such as yourself and create new memories and experiences together. I told you I knew at age 15 what I was called and purposed to do in my life. And right now, the time is here. I bring all of my life experiences, my hard work and dedication, passion and love for what I do to ensure everyone whom I engage with wins, and we win together daily. So if you're tired of feeling overlooked and underpaid, if you are tired of playing small in life and not living up to your fullest potential, if you have put your purpose on pause and your voice on mute, when you know that you have Brannique brilliance that the world is waiting on, they're waiting on you to show up. So if you have not betted on you nor committed to you or your dreams, then the time is now. It's time to choose you. It's time to bet on you. It's time to really do you. So, I know that we have to invest in ourselves. You have to invest in our personal and business brands, along with your dreams, your passion and purpose. You don't want that to go away. So if you are not clear about who you are and how you really want to show up in the world, or you are not confident, nor do you have a personal brand that shares your truth and the essence of who you really are, along having your story interwoven into your purpose, and using your past pain to elevate you and turning that into your superpower so you can soar with the eagles, then I would love to invite you to work with me, giving me the opportunity to redefine, reset, and redesign your life and build a personal brand that speaks to the essence of who you are so that you can live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of and desired. So are you really ready for a journey of transforming your mind, elevating your emotional intelligence? How do you show up for yourself, and this before the world sees you? You've got to be prepared. So then there are some of you who are looking and want a little bit more. So you want to go a little bit deeper. Well, it's time now to be a bigger, bolder version of you. So I would like for you to start today, committing to yourself today that you're going to take action. So if you're asking yourself, is there a place for you over here in Branniquely You Academy? The answer is absolutely yes. I want you to go over to brandheressence.com to see what you can do. Then there are some of you who may be out there and you're like, hey, I've done the work. I've gone within and I figured it all out. I know who I am. I'm ready to stand in my purpose, but I just don't know how to put it all together. Well, I say it starts with the foundation, which includes my 7 M's. Mastermind, mindset, mission, mastery, your message, your methodology, your makeover, so that you can be memorable for your money. I want you to create a personal brand that attracts and not repels. You want to be able to work with someone who can take you step by step through the process of figuring out who you are and what is your personal brand, along with what does it stand for. And if that is you, there is a place for you here as well. So let's connect, because that's really where we can begin to mastermind and come together and make your big ideas come into fruition, because they've been brewing for so long and we need to make them relevant and real now. If you commit to yourself for 6 months or maybe a year, you will be able to make leaps and bounds to live a bigger, bolder version of you, and to truly show up for yourself, for your family, and for the world. The world is waiting for you. So what am I saying? It all starts with you going over to brandheressence.com, making a decision and a commitment to yourself so that you can figure out which pathway is going to be best for you. And I promise you, there's a pathway for everyone. You should always invest at the level in which you want to see the return on investment on you. It is an investment and not a cost. So when you are leveling up your brand, remember that. Let's continue to have these powerful conversations about you being the biggest, the boldest, and the bravest version of you. Go to brandheressence.com, and I would love to connect and work with you. But not only that, I would love for us to win in living a bigger, bolder version of us in every single area of our lives. Let's do it together. Let's do life together. Remember, go be and live your brand, because it is the year of you. Mwah.
Party people in the place to be, welcome to the Bigger, Bolder Me. This is day 2. I trust that you had an amazing time listening to all of our speakers, our panelists, and the queen herself, Alicia Brooks. Well, it's time to transition and to do more to build our net worth by building our network. That's right, this is our Bigger, Bolder You After Dark networking event, where you have an opportunity to, in fact, increase your net worth by building your network. I learned a long time ago that if you are one of 3 friends hanging out and they're broke, guess what? Who's about to be the number 4 broke friend? That's you. But if you hang out with 3 rich friends, not necessarily in money, but 3 rich friends, guess who's about to be the next rich friend in your super circle? So increase your net worth by building your network. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, business owners, and branding experts that can help you with your business and your brand, so that when you show up in the marketplace, you're able to leverage your greatness. Now, I know that sounds like a plan to me, so I will see you in the Bigger, Bolder You Networking After Dark. Peace.